Bring your contractor in to Mid-South Lumber and meet with a member of their sales team to discuss your framing, siding, windows, and doors. Mid-South Lumber, the biggest little lumber yard in Panama City. 717 West 11th Street.
Electric scooters are fun, easy to use, and seemingly all over the streets. But several new studies find that e-scooters are also causing a growing number of serious injuries. One study by the CDC shows that 45% of those hurt have head injuries, while another 27% have broken arms, wrists, or hands. Half of those hurt say a pothole or a crack in the street caused their crash. Dr. Vidor Friedman is president of the American College of Emergency Physicians.
Emergency physicians are treating an increasing number of scooter-related injuries. Many of these are serious and can be life-changing, but many of these injuries are avoidable. The number one thing you can do to avoid serious injury is to wear a helmet. Scoot safe and avoid an emergency.
Studies show that about a third of those hurt are first-time scooter riders. Dr. Friedman advises to start slowly, follow the rules of the road, and be an alert rider. More safety tips are online at emergencycareforyou.org/scootsafe.
Port St. Joe. Powered by Panama City Toyota.
And that's out of the ballpark.
ESPN, Northwest Florida.
Lights, camera, action.
It's the Coach James Hale Show.
Do you know who I am?
Live and local inside the J. Michael Studio.
People know me.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
And good morning and welcome to 104.3 ESPN North. Yeah, get in. Yeah. Get in. Get in, Coop. Yeah. And welcome, 104.3 ESPN Northwest. Well, it's been fun so far today. We got a special show for you today. A future Bay County Hall of Famer, Coop Moss. We have a long line of professional baseball players. Well, compared to most counties in the state of Florida, we've had some great football players, baseball players, but especially baseball players. We got a future Hall of Famer in here, especially at Arnold, and I'd say the whole county. All-American, All-State, you name it. It's been a 4-year starter is Arnold High School. I will never forget, we were at Cajun Place. One of my favorite places, the Cajun Place.
Great place.
I see Steve, beautiful family. His wife was there, his daughter, all of them. They're all there. And it's the first time I really was introduced to Coop, and he was a freshman. And I was like, that's a big, good-looking kid. And he's highly intelligent. I like this. Good-mannered. They did a great job raising both of them, him and his wife, Steve. And we got talking about weightlifting, and then I was informed they were doing deadlifts. I want you to coach. And we do have, thank you again for filling out in today, the newest head baseball coach. He's been a head baseball coach before, but now he's back in Bay County at Bozeman High School, and that is Coach Brian Norton. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Deadlifts. And I said, Coop, I wouldn't even touch those.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do those. We've ruined backs doing those things. Kids get tired. They don't do the proper technique. You can still get we won all the state championships, and we never did them. Lake Wales won 7 state championships in weightlifting. And when I was at Cape Coral, we had the strongest. We didn't have, our county would not let us have weightlifting teams. Those are the strongest kids we ever had. We'd have won probably 5 straight championships there. And then we come to Arnold. I never let that, we never did deadlifts.
Yeah.
So I don't think you need them. The hacks bar is okay, but I'm just not a deadlift guy with a back. I've had bad experiences with that.
Yeah, in my opinion, especially at that high school level, you get egos involved, and kids start trying to lift too much weight.
There goes your back.
And there goes your back and get hurt. I think, in high school athletics, it's more about explosive movement, power cleans, that sort of thing, than those slow movements like deadlifts.
Yeah, power cleans, clean and jerk, power cleans, that's the only 2 things. I only had 2 things I was allowed to do. That would be it. Coop, you did get off those deadlifts, right?
Yes, sir.
Thank goodness. He listened. You look good, man. How much you weighing right now?
220.
Wow. Amazing. What, 6'4", 6'3"?
6'3".
Yeah.
Thank God you got your mother. Thank God you got your mother's height.
Yeah, I know. That's the truth. And looks.
Yeah, thank God for that.
God almighty.
you knocked out the ballpark and all things. But hey, congratulations, man! You did an incredible job. 4 years. When I first met you, I was wondering how good can he be, and he did better than I even thought. I mean, your career is second to none. Anybody in Bay County, what you've done in 4 years. Did it go by quickly for you?
It did. When after my freshman year, I looked back at my during my sophomore year, and I looked back at my freshman year, and I was like, wow, that flew by. I wish if our playoff run was longer my freshman year, obviously, but just looking back on it, it did fly by. Everybody says it does until you have to experience it, but it was the best 4 years I could ask for.
What was it like for you? You start out. There are little kids around here, and Coach, you jump in anytime you want. We got Steve, the daddy's here too. Hey, Steve.
Hey,
I just want to say hello. You are here. Steve is with us. Our special guest is Coop Moss. Again, getting ready to head down to Florida. I think they need you big time, you and Eli, this past couple games.
Use some pitching for sure.
Yeah, no doubt about that. But I want to ask you, all these kids grow up, they look at these high school football, basketball, baseball players, and they put you guys up there. And I will say this, you were a great role model for the young kids around here. Every time I've watched you play, everything I've ever heard about you is always positive. Other coaches come in here, they brag on you. That's important, man. That really is, and it shows you what great parents you had to raise you that way. But then again, you had to make the choices to do what's right and wrong, and you did. Did you feel that the little kids around as you went from a freshman to a senior, how everybody kind of looking wherever you? We were at the South Walton game, the biggest baseball crowd I've ever seen anywhere in the state of Florida.
Yeah,
South Walton Arnold at. Publix Park, yep. Richard Sanders' house over there, and that place was packed. But I saw these little kids, and he got up to bat. I heard him saying, "That's Moss, that's Moss." And I got tickled at that. I said, he's like a major leaguer right now. I said, he has no idea these little kids are looking at him talking that way.
I heard a story when Cooper's mom, Denise, got hired to be principal at Breakfast Point. Her first day over there, just kind of visiting, walking around campus. All anybody wanted to know was, do you know Cooper Moss? They were asking her, do you know Cooper Moss?
It's true. You'd think she'd have some credibility being the new principal,
right,
and all the kids wanted to know was, are you Cooper's mom? Are you Cooper's mom? Because a lot of them played Little League baseball, and so she goes, well, at least I had some credibility first day on campus. I'm like, yes, I know him well.
I'll have to go over there and say hello to all of them one day.
Yeah. But you could feel it. You always treat people good. I know you speak to them and things like that.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I love it. I think they've blessed me, supporting me through my high school baseball career, so I can give back to them. Ever since my freshman year, I remember just signing autographs after the game, tossing the ball under the fence just to go on the Sharpie, through the fence to just sign their baseball. But it means a lot to me, and I appreciate their support a lot.
Well, I hadn't talked to you since the state championship series down in Fort Myers. Eli was going to pitch, had the health issue. You were thrown in, didn't know. I didn't know. I kind of thought, and you can kind of help us with that, because I kind of thought Coop would go first. I went with Eli. Yeah,
we went with Eli. It was part of our strategy, knowing if we were expecting a tougher opponent in the final game, so we were saving Coop for the state championship game, and it didn't turn out that way. But Cooper came in. I'll tell you, man, Cooper's pregame routine is long. It takes him forever to warm up. And for him to go out there just all of a sudden, unexpectedly, without his pregame routine and do what he did was amazing, because at that point, when Eli came out after facing only 2 batters, I'm like, man, we're about to get run ruled. I thought it was gonna go really bad, but Coop did a really good job of handling his business on the mound.
How many pitches did he give up? How many bats? How many his?
Seven point. As a dad, I know the exact numbers.
Yes, Steve knows some stats.
That's my 7.1 innings. Gave up 1 run.
1 run.
And put up zeros. And we played a team called American Heritage, private school out of Fort Lauderdale, that were loaded. Yeah. They had a North Carolina commit pitch. They had a Miami commit. They had up and down the lineup. And so Eli pitched 10 pitches to start the game and didn't get an out. Yeah. And they had already scored a run on us. And he had some health issues, and Cooper was at first base. And I'll never forget, Jones points to Cooper and say, "You're in." And so to your point, Coach, usually it's about an hour, I think. Am I right, Cooper?
Yeah.
His warm-up with weighted balls and bands and this and that. I think this time he got 8 pitches to warm up in the final 4 in Fort Myers. And so we're, as a dad, I was proud of the way, because Brian's right. It could have gone either way, because not like we were playing a bunch of slouches. This team was stacked. We were playing, and it was not the best situation. And we ended up tying it and lost, unfortunately, but in extra innings.
Yeah.
And so I think we did, the pitching-wise, Cooper did his part. We left 9 guys on base.
Yeah, we did.
That's what happened. There were so many times we had second and third with 1 out and just couldn't execute the bunt right, couldn't get that bloop single or sac fly. And so finally it got down to the 8th inning, and they had they hit a kind of a single to the right side, and they walked it off. But it was pitching-wise, I think Coop did exactly what he needed to do. Put up a bunch of zeros, but we just couldn't get that one hit you needed, and that's usually playoff baseball.
I was watching Southern Mississippi against Alabama, Miami, and the second time Miami, same thing. They had bases loaded, and they were fortunate to even get 1 run. They hit into a double play. They do something crazy and not get points, and they like you said, left people standing on plate. But Coach, for you, I mean, you guys, you win that one. Who knows?
Yeah, we figured that game was our state championship game, because we knew the winner of that game was facing Mulberry, and we figured that both of us were stronger. And again, with our pitching staff, we figured that we were ready to face Mulberry. So that was the state championship game. And American Heritage went on to win the state championship. And hats off to them, because they were a really good team.
Coop, everybody, the big question, we've asked Steve this, your dad, about this before, but we'll go ahead and ask you and get it out of the way. Do you go to Florida? Do you go play professional? We talked about Nick, son over there in South Walton. A lot of people think he will go on and play professional, not go to Auburn. What's your thoughts right now? You grew up loving Florida, and I love that, because you committed to him early as a freshman, and you didn't flip-flop around. You kept your word. You don't see that much anymore. I like that a lot. Other teams are trying to recruit you and everything else, but do you truly just want to go to Florida and hold off on the professional, or is it going to come down to the money?
Yeah, I mean, I always wanted to be a Gator, ever since an early age. I want to play in the SEC, facing just really good teams every single weekend. I love the coaching program there and everything. They develop really good pitchers, but obviously when the draft comes in July, if that's a possibility, I think you have to, it's an opportunity it's hard to turn down. So if the opportunity's right, obviously yes, but if not, I get to play in the SEC and get better.
What do you want it to be? What's your degree going to be at Florida?
Hospitality and tourism.
You know what? No kidding. Now, back in the 70s, Southern Mississippi had a program in that, and I always wanted to be a coach. Then I started thinking you can't make a lot of money. I got into that, and it's amazing. I thought I'd go to the Bahamas and open up some. You're thinking things like that. Once I started taking these accounting classes, I go, you know what? Coach is not that bad. That's a good. I like that.
Yeah, well, we live in a really, touristy town. So,
yeah.
I mean, I know a little bit of knowledge on that, so I'm excited to get my degree.
You'll always have an opportunity. There'll always be job openings, and I like that. I thought that was, you know what? Great bodies, great minds, great athletes think the same. It's amazing.
Right.
It's unbelievable.
I told him it's a win-win. If things work out in the draft, I think it's about the second week in July. It's in Atlanta, by the way, this year. Then you have those discussions. Cooper has an agent or an advisor, and you delegate a lot to them to talk to these general managers and these scouting directors and say, okay, the one word they keep bringing up is signability. What is Cooper's signability? In other words, how much money is it going to take in a signing bonus capacity to skip Florida and go the pro route? I mean, the Seattle Mariners called earlier this week. The Angels and the Blue Jays called last week. So there is some interest. The question is, do you get drafted high enough out of high school to skip that college experience? Yeah. And that number is different from a signability standpoint for every player. Some players will sign for $100,000. And say, I'm skipping the college route. Some, they say $2 million is what it's going to take.
Wow.
So for every player, it's different. And then it's up to each individual team to say, okay, is it worth it or not worth it?
You got to be careful, too, who you pick as an agent. So some of those guys will throw a number out there thinking about their little percentage. And help me with that. I mean, am I right on this? Some of them will like, hey, and then the professional leagues back off that player.
I mean, as an agent, a lot of their life is what's in it for me. They want to do of course they're looking out for their athletes, but they got to make a living too. So you got to pick the right one.
I'm sure y'all picked the good one.
We did it, and it's a win-win. I mean, Cooper, as you said, Coach, Cooper grew up a Gator fan. He committed when he was 14. You can't even do that anymore. Now you have to wait for your junior year in high school. Back then, you could commit early, and he committed at 14, even before he started playing high school baseball. And now here we are, 5 years later, he's actually able to step on campus in a couple weeks at Florida. So it's a win-win. If the pro thing works out, hallelujah, boy, we're blessed. If not, going to Florida and playing the SEC, that's not a bad choice either.
No, it's not. The things, I can't believe, and I got to take a break, but I can't believe one day we'll look up and see him on national TV.
Absolutely.
Hoover, all these national tournaments, the World Series, hopefully. Him and Eli from Arnold High School playing for the Gators, you can't beat that. That's something incredible.
I hope they don't get a shot of me in the stands. I'll be a wreck.
we're trying to get you to do TV. ESPN, call the game of the week. All right, let's talk about some of our great people. Beef O'Brady's in Lynn Haven. Get out there and have a great time. Pat, we love you, brother. You're the best. City Commissioner Lynn Haven, and his restaurant's incredible. Go check it out. Go watch all the games this weekend at Beef O'Brady's. Beef O'Brady's Lynn Haven. And when you're down that way, go see Amber and Russ. David Adams and Jewelry Store is incredible out in Lynn Haven. Go check it out. And skin cancer can be deadly. Go see Dr. Ward. He did a great job yesterday around 7:30. Every Wednesday, 7:30, right here on ESPN Northwest Florida. 1 in 5 develop skin cancer. It can be deadly. 5 minutes can save your life. We'll be right back. 104.3. James, you're doing a good job back there. You're looking good, brother. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida. It's the Coach James Hale Show.
Is that what happened to you? It scared us to death. They're sneaky, they're fast, you can't get away from them. They're incredible. Anyway, what's that? Did that sound one more time?
Like this.
Yeah.
Weekday morning 7 to 9. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good morning. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with your forecast on this Thursday. A variety of mostly sunshine and a possibility of thunderstorms this afternoon and evening with a gentle breeze out of the south-southwest around 10 miles per hour and look for the high to be 85. Tonight, there will be mostly clear skies with the temperature reaching 78. Mostly sunny and a chance of thunderstorms tomorrow with a high of 85. This weather is brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for keeping that dial at ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Tired of boring merch and want your brand to stand out like the big names? Elevate your look with Red 7 Tees. They don't just print shirts, they create bold identities. They are a veteran-owned custom apparel shop providing the kind of detail that turns heads, using high-quality digital printing and embroidery to give you that unique style you love with no minimums or cookie-cutter designs. From small business to sports teams, if you've got a vision, they'll help you wear it proudly. Visit red7tees.com.
With over 65 years of combined experience, Instant Replay Sports Cards is happy to help you take your collection to the next level. They carry all the new hobby boxes, signed memorabilia, and supplies. New and vintage cards and Pokemon. They sell and trade cards and are always looking to buy. They're an authorized source for Topps, Panini, Upper Deck, and Leaf cards. Instant Replay Sports Cards is open 7 days a week at 752 West 23rd Street, down from Academy Sports. It can always be reached at InstantReplaySportsCards.com.
For everything in the world of golf, it's the Watson Report. Thursdays at 4:20 with Alan Watson from Golf Plus. ESPN Northwest Florida. Now back to the Coach James Hale Show inside the J. Michaels studio.
And welcome back. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Our special guest today, future Hall of Famer, Coop Moss, heading to games for Florida, we think. Well, I'd like to see this point out. He will be down there. The draft, when's the draft again?
Give or take second week in July.
And it's going to be in Atlanta?
It's in Atlanta this year.
I'll be honest, I haven't watched the baseball draft in a long, long time. I do watch the NFL draft. I haven't watched the NBA. But today, is it a big deal? Do they play it up like they do in the NFL?
They do. If you're in the first round, maybe sometimes the second, they'll call you on stage and you'll hold up a jersey with the commissioner. More and more players now, though, are having draft parties at their own home.
Yeah.
So you'll see a camera and they'll be literally on their couch with the friends and family. Now, there are a few that will be invited to Atlanta to be on stage, but usually those are just first or second rounders. Those are the top guys. And even then, a lot of times, they're opting to stay in their living room.
Coop, do you have a draft room set up like Shedeur Sanders did?
Not yet. We haven't talked about it quite yet, but
yeah.
Sanders.
Yeah.
Not so much.
I'm not.
We're going to be in our garage with the weight bench and a lawnmower behind us.
Yeah.
You know, like, golly, that kid, what in the world? But it's a weird scenario where a lot of these players are reporting to their college that they committed to, right? They're in their dorm, they're taking classes, they're part of Florida State, Miami, LSU, whatever school they committed to. The draft now is 2 weeks later, so if you get drafted high enough, it's going to sound crazy, Coach. You pack up your stuff and say, thank you for the opportunity, and you're gone. After only being on campus for 2 weeks. So,
and they are used to it, so they don't hold it against you. They know you can't turn around.
I asked the Florida coaches, I said, is that weird? And they said, we shake the players' hands and say, good luck, good luck, hope you make it to the league. There's no hard feelings. They said it happens all the time, but it's a weird scenario that these high schoolers are moving onto campus. They're taking classes at whatever school they've committed to. They're in the baseball program, and for some of them, 2 weeks later, they leave. They leave campus and because of the draft. It's weird.
Coop, if you do go ahead and decide to go professional, I mean, one day you will, and you're going to have somebody help you with that money, financing, and, I want you to come see me. I'm really good at that.
You know any good financial advisor?
Do you know a guy?
I've been doing it 19 years. You better call me.
Call me. Don't call Anyway, and speaking of that, I got to mention again, comes something sad. I do want to bring it up. And I asked before I could do it, but this station's been hit. Two guys we love. Ron Movey, I saw him last night at a restaurant, and he's heading out, going to be out for a while, going through the brain cancer situation there. Right now, things seem really good. We've done a really good job raising funds for him. He's going to be over there like 2 weeks at a time in Jacksonville, not coming back and forth, but staying over there is really expensive, but we're doing really well with that. We have another situation with Wildcat. Wildcat's not with us today. We haven't told anybody yet what's going on, but we do ask you to pray for him. He has liver cancer, which is a tough one to deal with. So he's going through a lot right now. He won't be with us today. They're going to go in and operate, try to get all of it. But we've been blasted here in this ESPN 104.3, two of our great ones going down with this stuff. So just keep them all in your prayer. They're all going to be fine. Everything's going to work out. But he's going to be out quite a bit going forward. Ryan's going to be out quite a bit. So prayer does work. Laura Baker had an issue. We asked everybody to pray for her, and everything is turning out really well for her, which is a great thing. So please keep Wildcat, Ryan Movey, in your prayers. We certainly appreciate that. And I think Wildcat will be back with us tomorrow. And he, again, I asked him before I could say anything about it because I've been wanting to tell everybody, because people want to ask him, is he okay? Are you okay? Yeah, he's going to be fine. He's too mean and ugly and hardcore not to overcome this. He can whip anything. He's a Kentucky Wildcat, so he'll be great. But anyway, keep him in your prayers. We got Coop Moss with us right now. I can't wait. We talked about Hoover. Steve, you're going to have a blast, man. Let me go over this real quick. This is a total attendance figures for the conference championship games. SEC. And I got to ask you a tough question. I do think they were. SEC, how many fans, paying fans, there were more there, but paying fans were in Hoover? 159,984 fans were at Hoover to watch Vandy win the championship. The next highest, 159,000, over that, almost 160,000. The next one was in North Carolina, Durham, North Carolina. The ACC tournament drew 60,000.
100,000 less.
158, 100,000 less, okay? Wow. The Big Ten in Omaha, Nebraska, they drew 37,000. The Big 12, they had theirs at Arlington, Texas, and of course Nebraska won the one at Nebraska, and North Carolina won the one at Duke. I mean, Duke won it. No, North Carolina, I'm sorry. In Durham, North Carolina won that. But in Texas, Arizona won it. But you know how many fans showed up for that game? Total, 15,415. Wow. It just means more in the SEC.
Yeah, for sure.
100,000 more. People play baseball in this part of the world. You got the good weather in this part of the world. But I think what the biggest thing is, we all are baseball coaches. We all have the answers. We all know it. I'll be honest with you. I was sitting there watching y'all play. Who was we had the officials. What game was that?
Oh, it was probably Clay.
Clay. It was Clay.
Yeah, it was Clay.
I'm sitting there watching it, and I caught myself going, why are we bunting? Let them hit the ball. Why y'all bunting? I mean, it's just human nature. If you played it, and we all played it, we're coached when we could walk, so we all think we know it. And I'll say this here again. There's more pressure on baseball coaches in the state of Florida, especially in Bay County, than football coaches. Yet the football coaches are paid all the big money, and we usually last a little bit longer than baseball coaches because we all got the answers. Bill Allen, Greg Bernicki, they got all the answers. Just ask them. They'll tell you about baseball. FSU, they had coaches fired there left and right. I hope y'all are listening. Anyway, Coop, what's it going to be like from leaving Arnold to go up and play in front of these huge crowds? You go to, LSU, play there. You go to Mississippi State, there's 11,000 people there. And then you got millions of people watching you on TV.
It's definitely a bigger jump. I like it. I love the big crowds. The crowds, even if they aren't even for us, just being there, supporting the game, hecklers, whatever. I love the pressure, so I think I'll do good in that environment. And I'm just excited to be in that type environment, that atmosphere, when people are really supporting the game like that.
All right, I got a couple questions, and you two both jump in with this, but I got to ask Coop. I want Coop to respond first. We had 13, I believe it was 13 teams made it out of the SEC? 13 teams. And we only had, four come out?
Yes.
All year long in college football, I was worried, are we overrated? Because we were ranked in the top 25, all the teams were. As the season went on, we only got 3 in. Alabama didn't get in. South Carolina didn't get in. It was Tennessee, Texas, and Georgia. Baseball, we had all these teams in the top 25. 4 make it out. Was the SEC overrated? Did they overlook some of these teams that not have these huge names? What happened, in your opinion?
Baseball's a very humbling sport. I think you never know, when you step on the field, what team you're going to get. And I think in the game, it's just being consistent. Obviously, top 2 teams, like a Vandy and Texas, go down and don't make it out of the regional. I mean, I think they're probably the 1 or 2 seeds, but they just got outbeaten by that game or those 2 games they lost.
Yeah.
But I think it's such a humbling sport, and I don't think it really defines who they are as a team, but I think that's just how playoffs are. It's the same for the NCAA basketball bracket.
Yeah.
It just takes one bad game and you're out. So I think you got to stay hot at the right time. And I think the most hot team during the tournament, I think, wins it all.
I watched Southern Mississippi. They had to come. They lost the first game. I think it was Columbia. They bounced back, beat Alabama. Then they had to turn around and play Miami. They destroyed Miami, 17 runs. And I was sitting there talking to Joe. I said, you know what? They might be giving everything they got right now. I'm kind of worried about this. They're hitting too well. The next game, they couldn't hit the ball as much. They only scored 5. They only scored 4. They gave you, I think, 5-4. So that's kind of what you're talking about. One mess up costs you the whole thing.
For sure. Yeah.
Steve, I want to ask you the same question, then we'll get the coach's viewpoint. Was the SEC overrated?
So I thought you might ask that question. 13 teams made it. Only 4 of the teams actually advanced. LSU, Arkansas, Auburn, and Tennessee. Those were the only 4. LSU, Arkansas, Auburn, and Tennessee. Those were the only 4 out of the 13 to actually advance. All the others eliminated in the first round. So it had a March Madness type feel to it. Normally in basketball, again, you see those kind of upsets. Oh, it's a Cinderella story. They're making it, some random team out of somewhere. Rarely do you see that in baseball, especially it's a double elimination type format in these regionals. So to have that many teams not advanced, I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah.
And I still think the SEC is the best conference.
Top to bottom.
And if you don't believe me, wait till you see the draft in July.
Right.
The vast majority of players will come from the SEC because they have traditionally the best teams out there. So yes, only 4 of the 13 eliminated. That being said, I don't think that the ones that made it were not worthy of it because they looked at the whole body of work, throughout the. But I mean, to have that many teams not make it, I've never seen it.
Yeah.
But a lot of it, Cooper mentioned, is momentum. Who's hot at the right time, especially pitching.
That's why you got to win that first game. You got to win that first game. If you lose that
first game, it's almost impossible to battle back. What you end up doing, you run out of pitching.
Yeah, and that's what happened. Yeah, you're right. You're exactly right.
If you lose that first game in a regional, good luck making it out.
Let's take a break. We get back. We're going to do FSU. We're also going to talk. Before we get into FSU, I want your opinion on this. Is the SEC overrated, underrated, whatever? We have some good comment on that so far, but like Steve said, you got to win that first game, and we'll get you know firsthand about all this stuff. We'll talk to you in just a second. But right now, one of Coop's favorite places, El Rodeo Tequila Bar and Grill.
That's right.
I see him in there, him and Steve in there. I tell you, it's great when they get up and sing together. That's something special. Every Thursday night, all the singing that you want, you can hear it right here. We've got 2 great locations. One we're talking about is right across the street from the Navy base. They've changed the street. What's the Navy? Navy Boulevard now?
Navy Boulevard.
Used to be Thomas. Anyway, right across the street from the Navy base. Go check it out. The best happy hour anywhere. You get one free. Buy one, get one free. House wine, draft beer, margaritas. But they got great food, great atmosphere, great place to have a birthday party. And the new one, David's got a new one down on Front Beach Road. 10908 Front Beach Road, park in the back, down there by the condos. Great, huge facility there. Great food, great service. El Rodeo Tequila Bar and Grill. Yesterday, J. Michael's restaurant, we told you to be packed out. It was. You know who was there? LSU Jeff showed up. We had a great time.
I got to meet LSU Jeff.
He's oh my God, you will love him.
Yeah,
he went to LSU. Yeah. Y'all got to get together. He'd probably one of your boosters, man.
Yeah.
Great guy, but we had a great time down there. Richard Sanders was down there, Patronus, everybody's down there. The legendary J. Michael's restaurant, the best seafood, the coldest beer. Go check out J. Michael's. Do you want to look better, feel better? I know Coop's done this. He's been down there. Max Fit Sports Nutrition. Jason Kovaleski does a great job. 2 great locations. Pier Park, 23rd Street. We'll be right back. I'm sorry, James, I'm running long. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Weather in the Panhandle never stops. Turn to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with your latest forecast.
Up to the minute weather reports all day long.
A chance of thunderstorms and moderate rain.
In-depth storm coverage.
Winter Storm Enzo.
And breaking weather as it happens.
Hurricane Helene.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
We do have a tropical storm warning.
Rely on it.
CBC Construction is looking for a few good men. At CBC Construction, our greatest strength lies within our talented team. Join us and be a part of a dynamic company that values its people. We offer a tremendous opportunity to create a future for your family and the Florida Panhandle. CBC Construction is now hiring. Call us at 850-740-3815 or visit cbcconstruction.com to learn more. CBC Construction, be part of a winning team.
TK Vandy Roofing and General Contracting is a 5th-generation contracting company based right here out of Bay County. TK Vandy's expertise in commercial and residential roofing, as well as a design, build general contractor, set them aside as a versatile and fresh alternative to achieve your construction needs. Contact TK Vandy Roofing, 850-866-9908, or email support@tkvandy.com. They can't wait to help you.
Northwest Florida Wrestling presents live professional wrestling at the Possum Palace. Saturday, June 7th in Wausau. Exciting men's and women's wrestling with a huge 20-man Royal Rumble. Doors open at 4. Matches start at 5 at the Possum Palace. Front row tickets $15. General admission $12. Kids 5 and under free. All proceeds go to medical expenses for Chase Henson. We'll sell you the whole seat, but you'll only need the edge.
For the edge.
Here comes the throw. It's late. Braves win.
Your spot for the Atlanta Braves on the Gulf Coast. Listen live nights and weekends. This is Braves Country. Now back to the Coach James Hale Show inside the J. Michael studio. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Amy there. Florida State, Florida State, Florida State. Woo! I didn't time it up very well.
No.
Coop, you want to sing it with us?
Nah, I'm all right.
Can't wait to the future, man. You and Eli, are y'all going to room together? Have y'all decided?
Yes, sir.
Y'all been playing forever, man.
I know, right? Yeah.
We got to get Eli in here, man. What a great kid he is. They got 2 studs going to Gainesville. Tallahassee's going to be great. They're still in it in baseball. But I want to go back, and we're going to get FSU in a minute. But let me get this in here. With John and Charlotte, they have given back so much to Bay County. Charlotte gave a huge sum of money to the Gulf Coast College here, FSU. John's always doing great things. Humane Society, fire department. I mean, we've done some things over there at the restaurant. Wonderful people. Let's make sure we get out and support them. 4 great locations. Summertime, you'll run into people you hadn't seen in years because everybody comes down here. They're going to head out to the mothership. But go to Newbies 2 on the Curve to watch all baseball games. Head on down to the mothership. The best entertainment in the Southeast every Friday and Saturday night because that's what Miss Charlotte wants, and she gets what she wants, believe me. Coach, I want to ask you before we get into FSU, SEC, I'm sorry, 13 teams in, only 4 go. We were overrated. You got to quit making excuses.
Yeah, I mean, the numbers don't lie. In my opinion, sometimes baseball happens. Baseball's a brutal sport. Sometimes you can prepare and do everything you can to be ready for a game, and then, you have one bad inning and it blows everything. But, I mean, when you look at Vanderbilt, the number 1 national seed, getting tossed out, you get Texas lost. It's not just some of those borderline SEC teams that lost in the regionals. It was some of your top seeds lost in the regionals. You watch baseball rankings throughout the season, and there's no number 1 all year long. It changes. I mean, I think at some point in time, SEC had Texas at number 1, Vanderbilt at number 1, Arkansas at number 1, LSU at number 1. We've had so many teams ranked number 1 throughout the season. It just shows how much the season varies in baseball, and all that matters is what you're doing at the end of the season.
And Steve made a great point. We had so many people drafted in football and basketball and baseball. So you look at that, so people will vote those teams number 1 because that's where the best players are playing. So yeah. I get it. I get what's going on. All right, we got to hit this. Coop's not going to be asked this question, but I got to ask you. Steve, I don't even know if you want to jump in on this one. Good. Sully, that is a situation over there. But I'll say this. We don't know the whole story. We don't. We can think we do. We get what was said by their coaches, the people there. But they could have been things that happened that we don't know anything about. Did he handle it wrong? Maybe. Probably. But I've been there. I've said things I shouldn't have said and got upset about things. But we don't know everything, so I will protect him a little bit. But honestly, what's your take on what happened?
Yeah, I mean, it was a bad look for Sully. It really was. And like you said, you don't know what was happening beforehand. And sometimes emotions get the best of you. And as a head coach, you've got to realize the camera's always on you.
Yeah.
And you've got to make sure that you're doing things the right way and representing things the right way. And I know Sully regrets what he did, but it's something that you learn from and move on.
Let me ask you this. You're a coach. You've dealt with athletic directors, principals, and then where the SEC is totally different level. The athletic directors have a lot of power. He had to more or less tell him, from what I understood, what I heard. I don't know what's true and what's not, but he kind of said, we don't do this way. You need to, apologize. And was he going to do it? I don't know. But then he did do it. You think that relationship there is still pretty good? I mean, you got a national championship coach. It should be pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, as I think Sully handled it the right way afterwards, coming out and apologizing, doing what he did, and trying to make amends. I
just wonder if some hurt feelings.
I mean, there's always going to be hurt feelings in situations like that, but you move on, and everything's going to be okay. So you gotta foster that relationship with your coaches as an athletic director. And
it just shows you how baseball has gotten so big. All the TV contracts now is making money. Everything that happens on TV, and this would have never got out there if the coach was it Coastal Carolina coach or the what coach was it? East Carolina or Coastal Carolina?
It was Coastal
Carolina. Got up there at the very end and blew him out of the water.
Yeah.
I don't think it would have gotten out there as big if he doesn't say that.
As a coach, what happens between coaches stays between coaches. And rarely if I'm going to have words with a coach before, after a game or anything like that, I'm not going to go to his AD or his admin and say, man, look, your coach did this. I think it's kind of bush if you go out and kind of rat out another coach for words like that. But, it's just not something I would ever do as a coach.
Steve, you want to even hit on it?
Yeah, well, I think as a dad of a player that's going to play for Coach O'Sullivan at Florida here in the next 3 weeks, when you saw the video, it was a little cringy, honestly. When you saw, I think you want a coach to model the type of behavior you want his players to emulate, right? And I think as a parent, it would be hard to say, I want my son to act that way or to use that type language. I think he could have got his point across, and I think even he will say this in a different way than the way he did it. But we're living in a time where there's cameras, there's cell phones, and so the way you say things and when you say it most likely will get captured and will get shared.
Yeah. But know him. You know he's a great man, a great coach.
From what I was told, the reason he was so upset is because earlier that morning, literally like at 1 o'clock in the morning, they were told that their game time was going to be changed. Well, that changes your warm-up, your catering, your transportation, and it happened more than once from what I was told at this particular region. So he was fired up, and I get that because when you're told that late in the game of, hey, we're changing the game time, it changes a lot. Yeah. Now, could he have expressed himself differently and the displeasure from that? Absolutely. And I think his apology makes it very clear that he didn't handle it the right way in regards to how he disclosed very publicly his displeasure with that. But as a coach, I get it. I think if you're one of his players, you're like, man, I'm glad my coach stuck up for me. Could he have done it maybe behind closed doors or done it a different way? Yeah. And I think even Coach Sully. But we've had conversations with him, Coach Gerolman, the assistant coach. All of them have been nothing but personable, and it's the type of coach I think you want your son to play for. Was this a lapse in judgment in regards to the language he used? Yeah, because again, I think ultimately you want your coach to model the behavior that you want his players to emulate. And I think even he would say he could have handled that better, especially the language he used and the venue he chose, which was literally on the field to share his displeasure. If I was a coach and they did that to me, I'd be ticked off too. What do you mean you're changing the game time?
And tell you 1 in the morning.
Come on. Right. There's a better way. I think the NCAA and the site administrators probably could have handled that. But again, I'm not necessarily rationalizing his behavior or the way Coach O'Sullivan shared his displeasure. I'm sure he could have done it a better way.
Well, we have Greg Bernicki, the mayor. He is when we talk about mayors, you look up in the dictionary, his picture's there. I mean, he is the mayor, no doubt about that. He goes, obviously the SEC's baseball is overrated because of you guys. And I won't read what else he said about us, about the SEC baseball.
Well, we're not choosing which regional they go into.
Anyway, I love it.
I will say there were quite a few more SEC teams chosen to participate in the tournament than there were ACC teams. Yes. And I will say for the record, Florida did take 2 out of 3 against FSU head-to-head this year.
But the ACC has what? They're 5 now?
Quite a few.
Yeah, they got still 5. So, Greg, I'll take it. You threw it at me. I can handle it like a man. But getting back to Sully, when you got, as a coach, you got things planned out. This is what you're going to be doing at 7 o'clock. I mean, it's all right there in front of me, and you don't want to change it. And then when he's told at 1 o'clock in the morning that he's got to change everything, the people he's got to deal with are already asleep. It's just a big mess. So I get where he's coming from. But, Steve, you're right. It doesn't happen to you. It happens for you. You can't handle it that way.
And you move on. You learn from it. You move on. And that's, it is what it is, I guess. But it's definitely a learning experience, I think, for not only Coach O'Sullivan at Florida, but maybe other coaches that ultimately will be in that same situation. There's probably a better way to handle it unless you want it to play out the way it did in the national media.
Absolutely. And now, that has been a great FSU update. That's been really good. I think Greg really likes this FSU update. Florida State, baseball, they're still there, baby. They're still in it.
They're stacked. Especially, they got one of the best pitchers, if not the best pitcher in the country, in Jamie Arnold. He'll be a top pick, probably top 5, and he is a stud. They'll lean on him and the rest of the pitching staff. But, I think Florida if Florida State doesn't make it to Omaha, I'd be surprised.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got that type of
I
team.
hope they do. I just hate them traveling that far. What do you got on the FSU for us?
Well, their shortstop was just named one of the finalists for the Golden Spikes Award, which is the top baseball player in the country, Alex Lodis, one of 3 finalists. So that's a big deal for Florida State. And again, 2 of the 3 finalists were SEC players. You had so that again goes to show the caliber of player that we get in the SEC. The only one that wasn't an SEC player was the guy from FSU. So
wow.
It just again goes to show the caliber of player. But this is the FSU update, so let's give it up. Alex Lodis, finalist for Golden Spikes Award. FSU plays tomorrow. I think the game is 6:00 our time. So it's going to be hot in Oregon. It's going to be an earlier game for them, but I think they're going to be ready to handle
Did they say when they flew out? I hope they got there.
They're there right now.
They're there.
They were there yesterday.
Yeah, that's good. Get
used to it.
Yeah, I hope they come out of that. I hope they win it, and I hope they do really well. I'd love to see Florida State, Auburn. There was another team, Arkansas. I'd love to see all of them there.
Maybe not LSU.
No, that was the other one. LSU. I'd love if they're all there. I'm even thinking about doing it. Steve, this is something in the future you're definitely going to be doing. Y'all done it before, right? Didn't y'all go out there before?
I have.
You went out there.
I would highly advise anyone that wants a baseball community to go.
Yeah.
If you're a baseball fan, you got to put Omaha and the College World Series on your bucket list. That and put the SEC tournament in Hoover on your bucket list.
Yeah.
Again, I've never gone. Cooper went a couple years ago. His travel ball coach and one of the Gator pitchers, Herson Waldrop, he coached both of them. And so he called and said, listen, if Cooper can get out here, I've got a ticket for him to the College World Series. So Cooper went out there and he said, Dad, this was amazing. I didn't go because I said, Cooper, when I attend, I want to be there watching you pitch. So he went with his travel ball coach and he said, it's like Disney World for baseball fans.
Yeah. I mean, even if you don't go for a team that's playing a game, just being in that atmosphere the game before yours it's unreal.
Just to be, if LSU's there, you got to go watch their fans. It's worth it. I love doing the Hoover watching their fans. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back and finish up. We got a lot more to do. I'm going to ask you some more questions. We got these freshman pitchers. I watched Miami's against Southern. They walk out there like it's nothing. True freshmen. We might see 2 right here from Bay County do the same thing. All right, we'll be right back. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Mornings on ESPN Northwest Florida just got unsportsmanlike.
If Will Howard is on the board to be your starting quarterback at any point this season, that means you should have drafted a quarterback earlier in the NFL draft. That's the problem with allowing the Aaron Rodgers thing to drag out after the NFL draft, because you limit the options that you have to upgrade that quarterback room.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle. Weekdays 5 to 7 on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good morning. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with your forecast on this Thursday. A variety of mostly sunshine and a possibility of thunderstorms this afternoon and evening with a gentle breeze out of the south-southwest around 10 miles per hour, and look for the high to be 85. Tonight, there will be mostly clear skies with the temperature reaching 78. Mostly sunny and a chance of thunderstorms tomorrow with a high of 85. This weather is brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for keeping that dial at ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Golf is a game that should be fun, but to have the most fun, you need to play your best. That's where the experts at Golf Plus come in. Their friendly staff will guide you through the buying process, answer all your questions, and can help with any repairs you need along the way. Golf Plus is your custom fitting, club repair, and golf retail shop. Golf Plus staff is non-commissioned and will work with you to find the best product for your game, just like they've been doing since 1988. Golf Plus in Dothan and Panama City Beach. Fitting, repair, retail. That's Golf Plus.
Hi folks, it's Tracy from Tracy's Fine Jewelry. Did you know that we have a master jeweler right here in the store? That's right, she has over 20 years experience in the art of repairing jewelry. Most repairs are done within a week, so don't send your jewelry off for 6 weeks. Bring it to us at Tracy's Fine Jewelry. We size rings and solder chains. We can reset your diamond into a new setting and even custom design. You'll get your jewelry back quickly and looking as good as new. Tracy's Fine Jewelry, Bay County's trusted jeweler for over 50 years.
We don't know what his problem is.
Quit moaning, we're all hurting.
but it's probably hard to pronounce and untreatable.
I don't feel so good.
The Coach James Hale Show is live and local from the J. Michael Studio, ESPN Northwest Florida.
Back 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. I got to talk about a couple of our great people. Stevenson here. I can't believe I haven't mentioned him yet. We're talking about locals, taking care of locals. Steve's got a business here. He's local. We'll go with local people. Don't go with some national brand. Go with locals, man. They live here. They grow up here. They take care of you. That's like Stevenson Air Conditioning, family owned. Jason graduated from Mosley High School, started this company. He's knocked out of the ballpark. They expanded throughout the Panhandle of Florida. Because they work extremely hard, they're honest, hardworking, great people. You can trust what they say. They don't try to take every penny out of your pocket. Stevenson Air Conditioning. It breaks down anytime, day or night. They're there for you. Give them a call. They'll be there as soon as they can. They'll solve all your problems. Get it serviced. If you hadn't done it yet, do it now. The summertime heat's brutal. We all know that. It's going to continue to run. It will not get cooler, and your power bill goes to the roof. You go with Stevenson Air Conditioning, they'll come out, solve any issues. Your power bill will go down. Stevenson Air Conditioning, #1. The legend. My daughter's down here, had an appointment with him, came from Birmingham to see Dr. Chad Mitchell. Listen to him every Monday right here, every single Monday. Guys, does a great job. 26 years on Bay County sidelines. Incredible. The legendary Dr. Chad Mitchell. Steve's Bike Shop, another great man. Heck, they coach the swimming team at Mosley. I mean, he's incredible. This guy can do it all. And they got their little bike shop. It's right across the street from Sam's on 23rd Street. They've been in business, I think, since 1979. 46, 47 years. Incredible. These electrical bikes are taking over the world. They've got a huge selection of electrical bikes, the old-fashioned bikes. They repair them. They sell them. They do it all. Steve's Bike Shop on 23rd Street. Go check it out. We think you'll love it. All right, Coop, and we'll see this next year, I'm sure. You, Eli, one of you. And Coach, I want you to jump in, too. You've seen all these freshmen, guys just left high school, out there in front of all these people on national TV pitching. That's got to be so much pressure on a kid. I think after you do it and get used to it, a couple games, it's okay. But like the first time, what was it like at Arnold, the first time you went out there as a true freshman pitching? What was that like for you?
Yeah, it was at Gulf Breeze my freshman year. It was their home opener, and playing at Gulf Breeze is, they support the baseball game really well.
Big time.
Yeah, it was a really good game. We actually ended up winning that game, but I came in a tough situation, I think in the third or fourth inning, and we ended up winning that game. It was a blast. That was such a fun game.
Are you looking forward to that? I mean, you feel good about doing it?
Oh, yeah.
Year one?
Oh, yeah. I think just it's an exposure thing. I think you're going to have to learn it somehow. I think might as well do it your freshman year and, get acclimated to that atmosphere and, see how you do under that pressure.
Brian, a lot of coaches, they don't want to put a freshman out there at quarterback, pitcher, point guard. They haven't been through all the battles. They don't know how they're going to respond. But you watch them every day at practice. If they can do it, you do it.
Yeah, you put the best player out there. You always do. Great example, Derek Curiel, sure. Freshman at LSU, batting leadoff, hitting like .314 for the season. I mean, that's a lot of pressure for a young guy, and he has really stepped up and done an amazing job, and is one of the best freshmen in the country.
All season, too.
Yeah, all season. He's done an amazing job.
Let me ask you this. What are you expecting when you get there in July? Their season's over. They're getting the summer workouts. Is it this time of year they're hitting the weight room, or are they playing summer ball? How do you know the rules for college baseball?
So when I move in, late June, it's just workout specifically. You take 2 classes, not really baseball related. So I think when the fall comes, maybe a couple weeks before August, you kind of get. Maybe start throwing a little bit more, you kind of get on the field, start doing some PFPs, stuff like that. But when I first get there, it's just workouts, find your classes, make some friends. So I think it's just kind of getting your feet planted, just in the summer. Then when the fall.
Do they have their own, I know they have a strength coach at all these schools, but they have one just for baseball and baseball only?
Yes, sir. Mr. Sean Burke.
What's he like?
He's awesome. Obviously haven't been in that atmosphere yet, but you just hear great things about him. And, obviously looking at the roster, everyone looks pretty physical.
Yeah, they do.
So,
They do. It's that was as a parent when we went on our official visit. We met the strength and conditioning coach, and I was probably more excited about spending time with him than I were some of the actual assistant coaches. He said every freshman baseball player that when they get on campus, they do two things. They get a blood test and they take a DEXA scan. And they said there's some players that we want to gain 15 pounds, there's some we want to lose 15 pounds.
Yeah.
But he said once we get them and we know their baseline based on what we find out from their blood test and their DEXA scan, then every workout plan and nutrition plan is unique to that individual athlete, depending on what we need them to do and how we expect them to be ready. So as a dad, I'm like, boy, the resources they have for you at a school like Florida, and I'm sure LSU and Tennessee, Arkansas have similar resources to make you bigger, faster, stronger, so that when you get to the spring, you've had 6 months, maybe even longer, of nutrition and the workout. So again, when you hit the ground running on SEC play, these athletes have put in the time in the weight room, and they're throwing harder, and they're running faster, and they're hitting the ball, 110 off the bat. I mean, so I was more excited as a dad of an incoming freshman at Florida to say, man, Cooper, you're going to have more accessibility to nutrition and workouts than you ever have. So take advantage of it.
I remember going to Hoover, and two teams that stood out. They just looked different. Was LSU? They looked. That might have been the year they won it, but they were just built good. And Florida's team, you could tell those guys, their butts, their thighs, their backs. You could tell. Do you know what the weightlifting program's like? Do you know what exercise they hit the hardest? We were talking about the clean and jerks and stuff like that.
No deadlifts.
Yeah,
no deadlifts.
I think it's a lot of probably explosive stuff.
Yeah.
Obviously, being a baseball player, you don't need to be super strong. I think it's just how long you can be quick, just for a couple seconds. So I think just being faster, stronger. Obviously, getting stronger, but I think just moving faster.
Yeah, I bet the running program is something else. Do you know some of the?
No, I don't know. I just know, as a fan and watching it from the outside, one of the things I like the most is to see the relationship between the strength and conditioning coach and the athletes, because a lot of people don't realize it, but the athletes spend more time with their strength and conditioning coach than any other coach that they work with. So it's really fun to watch, and a good strength and conditioning coach can make or break a program.
Yeah, you grew up watching the Florida State-Florida rivalries. You're going to be part of that. You and Eli are going to experience that firsthand. Is that the game you're probably looking the most forward to? I know you got the LSU, you got all the Florida, Georgia, you got all these other rivalries, but the FSU-Florida is huge. Talk about that. What games are you looking forward to the most?
Yeah, obviously, rival games. I think it just, especially for it being like a midweek game, I think it, hypes it up a lot. Just being in that atmosphere, playing in Jacksonville, playing in Tallahassee, and playing in Gainesville, I think the 3-game series is so cool. And playing against a lot of buddies that I used to play against at a younger age. But I think that's going to be fun. I think any SEC weekend is going to be fun, and especially the tournament.
Steve, do you know what the dates are when the World Series starts at Omaha? Does anybody know those?
It's in a couple of weeks after the Super Regionals are done. I know we'll be there sooner rather than later. But those are the series that I'll probably have to take some extra blood pressure medicine as a dad because those rivalry weekends, especially, you're playing at LSU at Alex Box Stadium, or you're up in Tennessee. Those fans are very passionate, Coach. And so my wife has already said, listen, you need to stay off social media. You need to tune it out. When your kid's pitching, you're going to hear things and you're going to read things.
I don't think they'll let you call any games.
No.
That would be fun to hear Steve's input on the games because he gets into it a little bit.
A little emotional.
I think my PA announcing days are done. I'm just going to be in the stands.
That was a classic. That last game was a classic.
That was amazing. That was great.
Even though there was a year, about 3 years ago, I was the PA announcer for the FSU baseball team. So it's very ironic that my son is fixing ready to go play the University of Florida when I was the voice of the Noles for a year. And I'll never forget being in the baseball program. I'd say, and as always, go Noles. And I'd cringe and go, oh, what am I saying? But it was a great year. I enjoyed it. The year I was the voice of the Noles for the baseball team.
College World Series is June 13th through 23rd, James, just to let you know.
All right,
June 13th.
June 13th through what?
Through the 23rd. 13th
through the 23rd. Okay, I'm letting our mayor know about that. Thank you there, Coach. All right, let's talk about some of our great people. Kyle Vandergriff, that guy, everything he touches turns to gold. The local 115. Did you bring a picture?
I did. Well, yes. No. I thought about it.
I got to get a picture of you, Coop.
All right.
Local 115. Go down there. It is Bay County Hall of Fame. You look on the wall, there are great athletes, coaches, players, cheerleaders, band members. If you're involved in anything, it's there. They got the 1966 Bay High School roster down there. The food's incredible. The crab cakes are the best you'll get anywhere. The gumbo's outstanding. The Tommy Oliver draft beer is pretty good, I'm telling you. Go check it out. The local 115. Every Wednesday night, they've got trivial questions, and they got a huge belt he's made for the champion. At the end of the summer, your name, your business is going to be up there for good. So get down to local 115. Have a great time. Now, Kyle has also take TK Vandy Roofing and General Contracting. They design, they build, commercial, residential. If you're looking for a roof, go with Vandy Roofing. They do an incredible job. I love the family, love the people. Go check it out. We think you'll love it. Turf Pro Pest Control. Listen to Patrick every Monday morning, 8:30 right here on ESPN Northwest Florida. You want that yard to look beautiful? It can happen. Turf Pro Pest Control, #1. We'll be right back. Coop Boss. Wait, we've all been waiting for the Alabama update. Brought to you by Brock.
Mornings on ESPN Northwest Florida just got unsportsmanlike.
Which member of our show would be most likely to chew on bark?
Definitely me.
Like by accident? Or you're like, hey, I'll try any food anytime. Bark's not food.
If you told me it's good for digestion.
You would do it?
Yeah, I love a health trend. I love a cleanse.
Bark?
You've seen all my adaptogens at my desk?
Bark.
I try it.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle. Weekdays 5 to 7 on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good morning. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with your forecast on this Thursday. A variety of mostly sunshine and a possibility of thunderstorms this afternoon and evening with a gentle breeze out of the south-southwest around 10 miles per hour and look for the high to be 85. Tonight, there will be mostly clear skies with the temperature reaching 78. Mostly sunny and a chance of thunderstorms tomorrow with a high of 85. This weather is brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for keeping that dial at ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
CBC Construction is looking for a few good men. At CBC Construction, our greatest strength lies within our talented team. Join us and be a part of a dynamic company that values its people. We offer a tremendous opportunity to create a future for your family and the Florida Panhandle. CBC Construction is now hiring. Call us at 850-740-3815 or visit cbcconstruction.com to learn more. CBC Construction. Be part of a winning team.
WGSX Lynn Haven, WVLQ Port St. Joe. Powered by Panama City Toyota, ESPN Northwest Florida.
Whether you're an experienced investor or first-time buyer, Beach House will provide you with top-notch service to guide you through every step of the process. We make the real estate process fun and easy through effective marketing, strategic advertising, and always a client-focused experience. From single-family homes to full-scale developments, Beach House Sales Development has you covered. Check them out at beachhousesalesfl.com or give them a call at 850-919-3500.
Put down your natural light. It's time for the Alabama Update. The Alabama Update, weekday mornings at 8. On the Coach James Hale Show at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Roll Tide Roll. Alabama Updates brought to you by Stevenson Air Conditioning. They're there for you anytime, day or night. Locals taking care of locals. That is Stevenson Air Conditioning. All right, let's get the Alabama Update going. I kept hinting about Alabama baseball. People, they're talking about giving coach an extension. Other people kind of upset that they lost and got kicked out pretty quickly. The first time they lost 3 games in a row this year happened at the very end, one in Hoover, and then the 2 losses in Hattiesburg, and the season's now over. Auburn's doing extremely well, which puts even more pressure on the baseball coaches, basketball coaches, and, of course, the football coaches. When the other school's doing better than you better be performing. You better be recruiting at a high level. So we're waiting to see what happens with that. Hopefully Bama will be improving in the baseball world. Now, football, the biggest question for Alabama, of course, the biggest question, who's going to be the quarterback? The offensive line's outstanding. There's no doubt about that. The only question mark may be right tackle. Everywhere else, they're loaded. The quarterback, they've got 3 really good quarterbacks. There's no doubt about that. Who's going to start? Ty Simpson, I think, will be the starter. Will Russell get in before the season's out, the true freshman? And his twin sister, just passed away, so they're going through some tough times in Alabama. Can you imagine losing? You go off to school, your twin sister, and then you find out she's gone. So that's tragic for Alabama. So keep them in your prayers. But he is an unbelievable athlete. He is a freak of nature. He was the number one quarterback in the country by a lot of services. A lefty, can run, can throw, very athletic, but he's a great passer. I think it's going to be Simpson. Maybe Russell does get in. Don't forget about the kid from Washington, Mack. He coached with he was coached by their new offensive coordinator, Ryan Grubb, and that's a big pickup. But we all feel a lot better about Alabama football with him coming on board. Nick Saban tried to hire him before. He turned Nick down to stay with DeBoer. Then DeBoer comes to Alabama. He decides not to come to Bama, go to Washington, the NFL. Not Washington, but Washington up there. Seattle. He goes to play coach with Seattle. Gets fired. Now he's back at Bama. So that gives you an opportunity to hopefully have a good offense. People are excited about the new offensive coordinator. Now, what we're not excited about, we don't know what's going to happen next year because we're not used to what's happened this past year. Alabama goes 9-4. You're ranked number one team in the country. You beat Georgia, and you think, man, nothing's changed. Nick's players are here. Everything's going good. You go on the road as the number one team in the country. You lose to Vandy. You go to Tennessee. You throw the ball 50 times. When you're not a passing team, you get beat by Tennessee. You go out to Oklahoma, play a very average Oklahoma team. Your offense does not exist. So there's a lot of question marks. You get excited about a bowl game. Maybe things are going to be brighter. This is the future. We don't know what's going on. We're slipping and sliding. We don't have the right cleats on. If you know anything about Nick Saban, he's prepared for every situation you can think of out there. He's the greatest coach. Him and Coach Bryant, two greatest coaches all the time. They had the wrong cleats on. Michigan wasn't slipping and sliding, but Alabama was. Alabama gets embarrassed by Michigan. You're an LSU guy. We got Florida people in here. 9-4 won't get it done in Alabama football. What do you think is going to be this year? Always the same. And even for you going to Bozeman in year one is going to be the most difficult year. I'm telling you right now, wherever I've gone, taking over losing programs, the first year's the toughest. The second year's a lot better. Everything's better. What do you think? Is it going to be better for DeBoer? If you go 9-3 again in Alabama, he's going to be in trouble.
Just listening to you talk about Alabama, your Alabama update, I'm hearing things that you never hear about Alabama. I'm hearing uncertainty. And for decades, you haven't heard uncertainty about what Alabama is bringing to the table. And I think that's the biggest thing is there's a lot of uncertainty around the program. And when that happens, then, it hurts your recruiting. It hurts every aspect of the game. So I think Alabama needs to find some consistency this year and find a way to perform if Kalen DeBoer is gonna have any chance of sticking around very long.
Steve, you're a Florida guy. You know the SEC. You followed it. You got to win. Certain schools, you got to win. Florida's one of them. You got to win in every sport at Florida. Alabama, you got to win baseball's big, basketball's big. You got to win at football. What do you expect year two from DeBoer and the Crimson Tide?
Well, Alabama would always not rebuild; they would reload. They had 5-star recruits sitting the bench. That's how deep they were because everybody wanted to go to Alabama. Now in the world of NIL, a lot of these teams, I think, maybe not have as much loyalty to the brand that is Alabama. They have loyalty to the brand that is the almighty dollar. And so, therefore, instead of going to an Alabama that has the name, the pedigree, the national titles, maybe I wouldn't mind going to an LSU, an Auburn, or somewhere else because you know what? They can pay me more. And I hate to say that, but I think the lure of going to an Alabama and that pedigree and that background maybe takes a back seat to the almighty dollar. Now, it is what it is, whether you love NIL, you don't, especially the deep pockets, the Texas A&M, the LSUs, they are not afraid to spend the NIL deal. So I think that some of those recruits that probably normally would have gone to Alabama, these 5 stars, because, again, of the pedigree and the
going
history.
To the NFL. Yeah.
Exactly. That's been a pipeline to go to the NFL. Maybe I'll go choose a different school because, honestly, they'll pay me more than Alabama will, and maybe Alabama doesn't have the lure that it used to because, again, I don't care about crimson as much as I do the color green.
Yeah.
I'll totally agree with what Steve is saying. NIL is making big changes across everything here.
Every sport.
Because if you're looking at it, Tuscaloosa is not that big of a city. You don't have a whole lot of rich businessmen around that are, funding a lot of these NIL things. So we're going to start seeing a swing here in the next couple of years where you're going to see places like Miami, UCLA, USC,
Texas, Ohio State.
Big-time schools that are in big-time towns that have all these extras, billions of dollars that they can just throw at the NIL deals.
Yeah, they had a thing. We had the Buckeye Twins. They told me how many millionaires and billionaires they had that were supporting the Buckeye program. Texas, all that money. Texas A&M is underachieving because they have as much money as anybody. Oregon's got big-time money. When did you ever, well, you two guys didn't grow up in Alabama like I did, but we would never have a player not go to Alabama, Auburn, top 10 players in the country. One goes to Oregon, one goes to Ohio State. In the past, it never happened because of what you two just said. It's all about the money. Auburn's done a great job in recruiting the last 2 years. And the top 10 players, I think Alabama's got in 2 years, out of 20 of them, I think Bama's gotten 4. Auburn got the other 6, and one went to Ohio State, one to Oregon. So y'all are right. Y'all knocking out the ballpark. You're correct. Everything you're saying, I think you're going to see that in just about every sport. All right, I want to go back to Alabama's defense. That's the reason I love you so much, Coop. You're the old school. You grew up loving Florida. You told them. You made a commitment. You stuck to your word. Those days are gone.
Very much so.
And that's sad.
You don't see that commitment anymore.
Yeah, well, just when you tell somebody you're going to do those great old days like that, when your word meant something, those days are over. It's all about the money.
How many times do you watch TV now and you see a player playing for, say, an Oregon, and they show their bio and they're like, well, he started at Oklahoma State, and then he played a year at Auburn, and then he was a year at Tulane, and now he's at Oregon State, and you're like going, good grief, this kid's played for a different team every year.
You know one thing I never liked as a coach? I was a head coach for 30 years. When a player, and I tell them too, they have those hats. I didn't like the hats on the table. Every coaching staff invests a lot of money recruiting you. Visits, home visits, official visits, and then you act like you're going to pick it, and that's disrespectful to that guy that's recruited you for all that time. I liked Julio Jones when he signed. He went up there, he put the Alabama hat on, that was it. And he said, I'm going to Alabama, it felt like home. He didn't play around with Oklahoma and FSU, make them look back. That's the other two schools he was looking to go to. So I like what you did. You committed to Florida. You kept your word. You're going to Florida. Now, we understand if you get drafted and you're going to make that kind of money. We all get that. That's just, you can't turn down certain deals. You just can't. I want to look at Alabama's defense for 2025. This should be the strength of Alabama's football team. The only question I have on Alabama on the defense side of the ball, the pass rush. Do we have to blitz to put pressure on the quarterback? Our D-line last couple of years have not been up like most of the Saban's years where you didn't have to blitz. You could put pressure and sack the quarterback. If they can sack the quarterback without blitzing, this is going to be a good year for Alabama. If you have to blitz and you get locked up in man coverage, you can give up a big play, a touchdown. But that's the big thing, the pass rush. How good is the defensive line? I'm hearing really good things about it. If they don't have to blitz to put pressure on the quarterback, Alabama's going to be pretty good. They have 8 starters coming back on the defense side of the ball. Womack did a good job. He did that 4-2-5, which I hate. That's kind of the Big 12 thing. He did adjust as the year went on. They got Florida State week 1. Gus Malzahn's offense. You line up in a 4-2-5 against that offense, I don't think you can stop it. So I think you'll have a good game plan. So if Bama defense is a strength and they play really well, Bama's got a shot to make the playoffs. If they don't make the playoffs, he's going to be in trouble. 9-3, no playoffs. There's going to be a lot of complaining. If they lose to Florida State week 1, you're going to see Bama people like you ain't seen in a while. I thought they treated him pretty good last year for losing. Didn't you? You know how.
Yeah, I did. I was worried about the Hales and all the Bama fans.
Yeah, we almost committed suicide a couple times.
When Saban retired, we were on suicide watch. We took Jared Hale's shoestrings from him so he wouldn't hang himself with them. But, I think there's a lot of pressure on the board this year, and it starts with game 1, August 30th, playing FSU. That's where the pressure starts. It's going to be a huge, huge game and set the tone for the season.
James, how much time I got?
Right now, we got 4 minutes.
Okay, good. All right. You got to pick 2. Anybody? I know some of you might not follow them like I do. If you only pick 2, and I couldn't, I picked 3. Alabama wide receivers. Devontae Smith, Heisman Trophy, just won the Super Bowl. To me, one of the greatest players of all time. Julio Jones was a grown man. I never seen him that good at that age. That kid at Ohio State reminds me like twins, that Smith kid. Amari Cooper from Miami, unbelievable football player. Ridley, unbelievable football player, first-round draft picks. Judy, first-round pick. And then you got Waddle, which is the fastest, most elusive player I've seen in a long time. Auburn, he ran a kickoff back. They couldn't stop him one year. You only have to pick two of these receivers. Norman, you've seen them all play. You've watched all of them play against LSU. Cooper destroyed them. Julio Jones had a big day against him, a game of the century. If you could only pick two of those receivers, who would they be?
Oh, man, that is a tough choice because, you talk about wide receiver. You listen to that list of players. I like Julio Jones. He was outstanding. Just gave us fits at LSU. And probably I don't know. I like Waddell, too, because that he could fly. He could absolutely fly.
That is such a hard pick. Julio Jones has to be, and that's when they ran the ball. He was a great blocker. Well, I met him before the Florida game. We went back where the team was eating, and Coach said, well, of course, he had something that he wanted. So we went back there. Jared got to go in. I don't know if Jared told you about that. Pre-game meal, we see all these players. When Julio walked up, I was shocked how big he was. Now, he had on some big tennis shoes or something. He looked like he was 6'4", 6'5", and I think he's about 6'4", 6'3 and a half. But he looked like a linebacker. He was built like you wouldn't believe, polite, good kid, and an unbelievable blocker, could catch, could run, could do it all. Of course, look what he did in the NFL. Yeah. Incredible. I would have Julio Jones, number one. I'd probably have to go with Amari Cooper because I like the big, stronger, faster receivers. Yeah. Devontae Smith looks like you could break him in half, but he never gets hurt. He's from your great state. Right. Unbelievable football player.
Great athlete.
And Waddle is such an explosive player, but I think I'd go the two big guys. Yeah. If I was going to go the smaller two, that would be the two ones I'd go with Smith and Waddle if I was going to go smaller, quicker. But anyway, the other thing on that Bama, Mark Ingram is up for the Heisman. I'll talk a little bit more about that in the next segment. Let's talk about some of our great people right now. I think I hit everybody. I can't remember. If I haven't, I'll try to get you in a second. Let's go up to Beef O'Brady's. You want a great meal. Beef O'Brady's, Lynn Haven. Pat Perno, the city commissioner, is incredible. Steve, he's always done great things with Bay District schools. The football teams, baseball teams. You have a meeting over there?
Yeah, I've had a couple of coaches meetings at Beef O'Brady's in Lynn Haven. That's where I was working on my staff. That's where we went.
Pat called me and said they put something on my tab. That's how I knew you had a meeting over there.
Best wings in the area.
Yeah. Get out to Beef O'Brady's, Lynn Haven, have a great time. Also, you cannot play around with skin cancer. Females. Breast cancer, skin cancer can be deadly. You've got to pay attention. That's the two things they get the most. Dr. Ward's got offices throughout the Panhandle of Florida. If it doesn't look right, doesn't feel right, go see Dr. Ward. 5 minutes can save your life. Put the sunscreen on. Take care of yourself. That stuff, I got a coach who's going through some tough times right now because of that. Go see Dr. Ward. The guy's incredible. The legendary J. Michael's Restaurant. The best seafood, the coldest beer, the legendary J. Michael's. Stevenson Air Conditioning, thank you for the Alabama update. They're there for you anytime, day or night. Stevenson Air Conditioning, number one. We're right back. Brian Norman, right? Brian Norman, right?
Yep, that's right.
Cooper Moss, Steve Moss, and Big James in the back there. He's looking good today, doing a good job. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
The Atlanta Braves play here.
Tonight, the Atlanta Braves are at Oracle Park to face the San Francisco Giants.
2-0 pitch all the way to Harris, and he blasts one. High in the air, deep right field, and buried into the seats.
We're staying up past our bedtime for the Atlanta Braves on the West Coast. Coverage coming up at 8, first pitch, 9:15. Listen in ultra high fidelity on your spot for the A.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good morning. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with your forecast on this Thursday. A variety of mostly sunshine and a possibility of thunderstorms this afternoon and evening with a gentle breeze out of the south-southwest around 10 miles per hour and look for the high to be 85. Tonight, there will be mostly clear skies with the temperature reaching 78. Mostly sunny and a chance of thunderstorms tomorrow with a high of 85. This weather is brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for keeping that dial at ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Need a bed and have no space? The Sleep Center has a new Clover Murphy bed. Convert a functional cabinet into a comfy queen-size bed in less than a minute. Easy to use, easy to love.
The Sleep Center, where it's bedtime all day long.
Los Rancheros has been doing it right for 20 years. Los Rancheros brings a top-shelf dining experience to you with the opening of their beautiful new building. Watch all college and pro games on Los Rancheros' 14 large-screen TVs with great drink specials daily from 2 to 5 and during all the games. Los Rancheros, the place for live sports and great food on 23rd Street between Jenks and Harrison.
Need a bed and have no space? The Sleep Center has a new Clover Murphy bed. Convert a functional cabinet into a comfy queen-size bed in less than a minute. Easy to use, easy to love.
The Sleep Center, where it's bedtime all day long.
The Coach James Hale Show is live and local from the J. Michaels studio.
Boss, I got good news and bad news. What's the bad news? Your hat's on fire.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Eagle, hey, Martha Kinney, James Jenner, all these Auburn Tigers, and there's a lot of them in the Panhandle of Florida, and you should be proud of what's going on with Auburn. They built that beautiful basketball arena. They pack it out, and Coach Bruce Pearl's turn a championship team there. Look at the baseball team. That baseball, Coop, I can't wait till you go play there. That baseball facility at Auburn is incredible what they've done, that first base line. Brian, the backstop, the pitching, the catching, all those chairs back there, they were like lazy boy chairs, but I don't know what the people pay to sit back there. It's got to be a lot.
Yeah, I can imagine, and that's a big part of when they upgrade stadiums nowadays. They look at those luxury seats because they bring in big dollars.
Man. Is LSU Stadium as nice as Auburn's?
The Skip Urban Stadium at LSU is really nice. I can't remember when they built it because it used to be closer to the football stadium, and then they moved it down and built a new stadium probably about 10 years ago. And at the time, it was the most state-of-the-art stadium. I'm sure by now it's fallen behind a little bit, but they're going to upgrade things and keep it there. It's a really cool place to go at Alex Box Stadium, Skip Berman Field.
Auburn's incredible, and they're pumped up. I'm going to hold off on baseball. I do want to get this in before we jump into baseball because I want Coop's opinion on this and Steve's. And, of course, your coach. But and we do have Brian Norman, the new baseball coach at Bozeman, and looking forward. People over at Bozeman, you're going to be really pleased with this guy. He's incredible. We lost a legend. We're getting a legend to replace him. It's unbelievable. Auburn, the big news there, and I do think the guy is an unbelievable player. Like came out of space. Quarterback Cam Newton. Percy Harvin's also from Florida, being up for the Hall of Fame 2026 class. They're going to be on the ballot. And Mark Ingram, the Alabama. So the state of Alabama's got a couple. And, of course, Percy Harvin's an unbelievable football player. I think he'll make it. But here we go. Auburn is a no-brainer for me that Cam Newton be put on there. Either you love him or you hate him. And most people hate him are not Auburn fans. Maybe some Florida people might have some bad feelings towards him or whatever. The guy was an incredible football player, incredible athlete, big, 6'4", 225, at least 225, could run like a deer, could pass like no other, had a great NFL career. All he did at Auburn is win a SEC championship. He makes an All-American. He made all the SEC. He wins the national championship. He also wins the Heisman Trophy. He's one of the best one-year players in college football history. Strong, big, fast, physical, a great leader, Heisman Trophy winner. Again, no-brainer. He should make the Hall of Fame. If it's based on talent and ability, the guy should be in there. He is unbelievable. Now, some people are going to say, yeah, but there's a question mark about him and the recruiting and all that kind of stuff. Auburn outbid Mississippi State, all those stuff. Nothing's ever been proven about any of that. Nothing has ever been proven, all the stories. And, Brian, I'll ask you, you're a big SEC football game. Do you remember the comeback when he went into Tuscaloosa and Alabama's up like 24-0? He brings them back by himself almost. The guy is incredible.
Yeah, I mean, he was just so phenomenal to watch and just a fun football player. There's no doubt that he belongs in the Hall of Fame.
Do you remember the LSU game played at Auburn? He ran through him, ran over. He was incredible.
Just couldn't stop.
You take him out of the game, Auburn wins probably 8 games, 7 or 8. With him, they win the national championship. Now, the other player from the great state of Alabama is Mark Ingram. Mark also the Heisman Trophy winner his senior year at Alabama. In 2009, he rushed for 1,658 yards, All-American. They win the national championship. Same things that Cam did. But if you only had to pick one, I'm an Alabama guy. I'm telling you right now, I'm putting Cam Newton in.
Yeah, absolutely. Cam Newton, he belongs there. Yeah, he does. I mean, the game was better because he was there. People watched football more, but just to watch Cam Newton, he was one of those electric players that people showed up to watch.
Steve, let me ask you this. You're a Florida guy. You graduated from there. This is what it was like with Urban Meyer. You had maybe the greatest college football player in history, in my opinion, Tim Tebow. Unbelievable leader, Christian guy, role model like no other. Then you got behind him another Heisman Trophy winner, and we don't know. He said the computer was not his. We all know the story.
As a Gator fan, when I hear Cam Newton, all I think about is a laptop.
Yeah.
That's the first thing with the laptop, the infamous laptop. It's just a missed opportunity. As a Gator fan, you think, imagine if we could have went from Tim Tebow to Cam Newton. I mean, that would have been the succession
the championships
plan.
keep on rolling.
You have that pedigree, and you go, good grief. Then maybe you start winning another national title, and who knows? But again, the laptop, they throw it out a window. Did he steal it? Did he borrow it? I don't know. Whatever it is. But I do have some breaking news. This is the Auburn update, right?
Yeah.
Got to go beep, 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 beep. Breaking news. So the top quarterback in the 2027 class visited Auburn yesterday.
Elijah Haven from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, baby.
He's a 6'5" quarterback from Baton Rouge.
Yes, sir.
But he visited Auburn yesterday. Said he loved the experience, loved the facilities. The question is he going to choose maybe Auburn over LSU? The kid's from Baton Rouge, Coach. But he visited Auburn yesterday, said it was a great visit, said he loved being on the plains, said it checked a lot of boxes. But just yesterday, top quarterback in the 27 class visited Auburn, and daggone if he's not from Baton Rouge.
Yes, he is. 6'5", Dunham High School. He's a stud, man. He
loves Yellowwood. I bet he'll meet Mr. Yellowwood.
I'm sure he's met Mr. Yellowwood already. And they're
Is it going to come down to that?
I think it is. I mean, but, a lot of times when they make this visit and they hype up, man, I love Auburn and this and that and the other, they're hoping that LSU throws more money at
Can LSU match the money? Yeah. Hey, Yellowwood's the richest man in the state of Alabama, and they're doing great. Auburn's doing great. Just like James and Steve, it's about NIL. It's about the money. I could see a kid leaving Baton Rouge to go to Auburn if they're going to pay him more money.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think he's going to. Having that name going to LSU is going to be big for him, but the money is going to be the determining factor. LSU has some deep pockets, and they can make it happen if they really want to.
All right, I want Coop on this one. Auburn baseball. We talked about facilities, incredible. Coastal Carolina, they got a great program, no doubt about that. I like Auburn. They're going to play Friday. I think it's 7 o'clock Central Time is the first pitch. I like Auburn to win it. Coop, what do you think? Does Auburn get it done? Coastal Carolina, they've won championships now. They're good. They got a great program. But what do you think? Who wins this game and why?
I think Auburn. One of my buddies, Chris Rembert, plays for Auburn, freshman this year. He played at Pensacola Catholic, tearing it up this year. So I'm pulling for Auburn. I know a couple guys on the team, so I think Auburn's going to pull that one out.
Did you ever consider Auburn? That's a stupid question, because I know deep down you're a Gator and always wanted to be a Gator. But did you even, go visit, look?
Never did visit. And actually, I don't think I've ever been to Auburn, to be honest. But when, I was making that list of schools that I wanted to go to in 8th grade, Auburn was on that list just because of their pedigree and, their track record of having a really good baseball program.
I can't wait. You're going to enjoy going and playing that ballpark. I tell you what, it's beautiful.
By the way, Coach, Coastal Carolina has now won 21 games in a row.
Yeah, 21.
You could argue Coastal Carolina is the hottest team in baseball.
Yeah. Yes.
21 games in a row. They obviously hosted their regional, won that regional, won their conference. So, man, you're talking about having some momentum going into a super regional. Coastal Carolina checks all those boxes. Auburn's an awfully good team, though.
Who do you like?
I go with the hot hand. I know I'm an SEC guy, but I'd go with Coastal Carolina. Again, they won 21 in a row. Momentum is such a big deal in college sports, especially when you've got 19, 20, 21-year-old guys that are believing they can beat anybody.
So let me ask you this. I think it's going to go 3 if they win it.
Yeah.
Don't you?
I think you could argue that Auburn's probably a little deeper pitching-wise, and at this time of the year, pitching wins can win you a lot of games.
All right, let's ask Coach. Coach, Auburn. I think Auburn's going to get it done. I do think it'll go 3 games.
Yeah, that first game is key. Whoever wins that first game, in my opinion, is going to win the series. And that's in almost every super regional. But that first game is key because of the depth of pitching. I'm going to go with Auburn. I'm going to give it to Auburn.
All right, the Auburn Tigers hopefully will. Getting back to football real quick. They've been all this talk about Auburn's football team 2025. A lot of people give them a lot of love. Still, you'll see an article here and there, and there was another one. I decided not to do it because I didn't want to be too negative. But it was kind of like the other one we had talked about. It's time for Hugh Freeze to win. Yeah. There's no more excuses. There's no more blaming quarterbacks. There's no more bad play calling, give games away. They love him. He's done a great job recruiting. He's had some health issues, prostate cancer and things like that. You got to win at Auburn. You got to win big at Auburn in football. And people talk about Auburn. Look at the basketball program. People are really pleased about that. Auburn's a basketball school. Baseball. There's people out there that think Auburn can win it all this year in baseball. Let me tell you something. Auburn is a football school. It always has been, always will be. I don't care how many championships they win in basketball. And when you're the football coach at Auburn, you got to win, and you got to win big. Don't ever let them fool you thinking Auburn's a basketball school or something else. You got to win at football. Auburn is a football school first and always will be, in my opinion. I grew up in that state. I know all about it.
You know, my favorite LSU games have always been the LSU-Auburn game. It's one of my, I circle every year.
I wanted to bring back the Auburn-Florida game. I used to love watching that game. You were at school back when they used to play.
It would come down to a last-second field goal or some touchdown in the back of the end zone. It seemed like all those Auburn-Florida games just always came down to the last play. Auburn used to be a permanent opponent of Florida, and now it's one that just rotates in and off the schedule for Florida.
Do you want to look better, feel better?
Yes.
It's Max Fit Sports Nutrition. Ask Coop. I'm sure I know he's been down there. They can get you bigger, stronger, faster. They can help you. You know, really, they can give you suggestions. They can get you things that will help you, but it's the work you put in, the effort you put into it. But go see Jason Kovaleski. The guy's incredible. Listen to him every Tuesday and Monday right here on every Tuesday and Friday right here on ESPN Northwest Florida. 2 great locations, Pier Park and 23rd Street, Max Fit Sports Nutrition. I want to thank Beef O'Brady's again for the Auburn update. Pat, we love you, brother. The best city commissioner Lynn Haven's ever had, but his restaurant is second to none. And you know what? I think he trains them. He has to, because you walk in the door, they greet you. They always have a smile on your face. They never have a bad day. And people remember that. People remember kindness. You go back to where you feel good, where people treat you kind. And they do that at Beef O'Brady's in Lynn Haven. We'll be right back. Coop Moss, our special guest today, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Only 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida could bring sports fans like you an app this powerful. The sports content you crave is always on. Live stream us everywhere you go. Now with upgraded programming and live game schedules, you'll always know when the Atlanta Braves and your favorite games are playing. Plus, interact with our local hosts in real time and so much more. The new app for the sports fanatic is available at the Apple Store and Google Play. From 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Take your next adventure in an award-winning Kia from Bill Bird Kia. Discover the new Kia. We invite you to stop by Bill Bird Kia and test drive the new 2025 Kia. You'll get the perfect balance of comfort, safety, and technology. The 2025 Kia SUV family has movement that inspires. Drive away today in a new 2025 Kia Soul, Seltos, Sportage, Sorento, or Telluride. Fuel the thrill and command the road in the luxury of a 2025 Kia K5 sedan from Bill Bird Kia. Performance, power, and design built for you. Spark inspiration in the all-electric 2025 EV9. It's a modern masterpiece, fast charging, rugged, and roomy. Bill Bird Kia is the original home for the 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. Stop by 2435 East 15th Street, Panama City, or anytime at BillBirdKia.PanamaCity.com. We'll treat you like family and give you the peace of mind you can trust. Your local community dealer is Bill Bird Kia.
Hewitt Tire and Auto. Call 850-769-7323. Your certified AAA service center and hometown towing. Visit them online at HewittTire.com. On Airport Road in Panama City. 850-769-7323. Hewitt Tire and Auto Center and hometown towing.
Need a tow? Call Billy at Hometown Towing, 850-265-1562.
Now, it's the Coach James Hale Show.
Go nuts.
Live from the J. Michael Studio on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back, 104.3 ESPN Northwest. Hey, James, did you hear about this? You might be too young, though. I don't know. Jim Marshall was a great football player for the Vikings, man. He was incredible. He was born in 1937. He just passed away. This is incredible now. He started 270 straight games from 1961 to 1979, not missing a game. That's almost impossible. That's back when they had no rules to protect the players. He was 87 years old. The guy was an unbelievable football player. The big Jim Marshall gone. What a man. What a man. Do you remember him at all?
I do. I know the name. I never watched him play.
Yeah. Y'all, what year were you born?
I was born in 83.
You're a baby.
Absolutely.
You know.
Just
you look good, though.
I can't help it. Thank you, sir.
You're a good-looking guy. All right, let's get into it. Coop, I'm going to start with you. Let's start with Miami, Louisville. Southern Mississippi wins, and I didn't know this. Your dad told me you actually went to a Southern Mississippi game. You were in Hattiesburg.
We were.
Man,
yes.
that would have been a big pickup for us. But baseball is huge in the state of Mississippi. Mississippi State, Ole Miss, Southern Mississippi, they're all huge. They've all been to Omaha. Who do you like? Miami, they had a true freshman walk in there and pitch against Southern Mississippi. And he did a pretty good job. Who do you like? Louisville, Miami?
Florida, me and my dad went to the Florida-Miami series earlier in the year. And, that was a little before Miami, kind of went off and started doing much better. But I think Miami, I think I know a little bit more about Miami. I just look like their program this year is doing really well. And I think they're kind of the team that's hot right now, especially running true freshmen out there. That obviously shows that you have a lot of trust in those younger guys. So I think you just got to trust the coaches in that situation, but I think I have Miami in that series.
Miami beats Louisville. Steve?
Yeah, I mean, Cooper's played with a few of those Miami players, honestly, that are there now in travel ball with them and against them. So it's always kind of fun when you see guys that maybe you're not the best friends with, but you're like, hey, there's Torres, right? Yeah. There's some of these guys that we played against or with, you know what I mean? And so they're awfully hot right now, for sure. And so I think that regional is at Louisville.
Yes, it's at Louisville.
Louisville's hosting it. But I think Miami's got the momentum right now.
Miami is it. James, who gets it done? Miami, Louisville?
I'm going to give it to the home team, Louisville.
Okay, we got one Louisville, got two Miami. Who you got?
Miami's 34-25. Louisville's 38-21. In my opinion, this is the most evenly matched super regional coming up, but I'm going to go with Miami on it.
Two ACC schools doing battle. All right, let's go to Florida State, Oregon State. That's a long way. The only thing I don't like about this is that trip out there. It does affect your bodies. I'm going to go FSU. I hope they do it. I want the mayor to be happy. I want Bill Allen to be happy. I think FSU gets it done. Steve, let's start with you. Who you like?
I'll go with the Seminoles, absolutely. You hate that it's so far away. You don't know how many fans from Tallahassee or wherever are going to travel literally across the country to support them. You hope so, but I just think they've been battle tested. I mean, the ACC, they've played. They played Florida 3 times non-conference. I think they're more tested than an Oregon State.
Coop, who you like?
Give me Florida State.
They've got a Gator telling you this. I love this.
They have. Obviously they played some tough teams this year. I think they're ready for that matchup, and I think they're going to take it.
James, who gets it done? FSU, Oregon State.
Looking at the team stats, they are pretty equal, but let's stick with the local team. Let's go Noles.
FSU. You think FSU's schedule is more difficult than Oregon State's? I mean, what are they in that two-man conference over there?
Yeah, I would assume it had to be more difficult than Oregon.
But they play well, and they've always been good. I mean, they got a history of being really good baseball.
I like Jamie Arnold. I think FSU has the edge pitching-wise.
Yeah.
And you can win a lot of games if you have some strong pitchers.
I mean, FSU's pitching, their bullpen didn't give up any runs in the regionals. I think FSU's pitching is really, really stout this year. I'm giving it to FSU.
Everybody's got FSU.
Their first baseman's an animal. Cooper knows him real well.
Miles Bailey, we grew up playing together, man.
Good kid.
Yeah, really good kid.
He very well
Good
could be ACC Freshman of the Year.
Wow.
Miles Bailey, good family. His dad's name's Kevin, and we know them really well. When this kid hits a home run, it's not a fence scraper. I mean, there's a tent out in right field, a circus tent out at FSU.
There was.
I swear to you, you'd think he's trying to hit the tent that used to be out in right field. When this kid hits home runs, they're 400 foot plus. There's no doubters. The outfielders don't even move; they just kind of watch it. So, good family. He's their starting first baseman. Could be ACC Freshman of the Year. That talented.
Cooper, I got to ask you a question real quick. Are they going to let you bat? Are you not just going to be just a pitcher? They're going to let you hit? Because you're good, great hitter.
Yes, sir. So with the shorter roster changes, they kind of want to get as much out of you as you can. So hitting's a possibility, but I'm mainly there just for pitching, and we'll see where the bat takes me when I'm there.
I asked the coach that. I said, does Cooper need to bring bats with him when he heads to Gainesville? And with the rosters eventually going from 40 to 34, they say two-way players are more popular and more valuable now than they ever have. So they said, we're going to give Coop an opportunity to swing it. Doing both at the SEC level is awfully tough. There's not too many Jack Cagliones that can have the talent to hit and pitch at that level. But they said Cooper will have the opportunity to swing it, and we'll see.
Yeah, we've watched him hit. He can hit, so I hope he does get that opportunity. That's a good question. All right, Arizona, North Carolina. I think North Carolina. These are two good teams right here. We'll start with you. Who do you like? Arizona, North Carolina?
North Carolina is kind of my outside pick to win it all. I think they have a really good shot of winning the entire College World Series. So I'm definitely going with North Carolina. This game's at North Carolina. This series is at North Carolina. Arizona's a good program, but I think North Carolina gets it done.
Steve?
NC, you got to. They made it all the way there to Durham, I think, and played in the championship for the ACC tournament. So you got to go. Plus, they're hosting, correct?
Right,
they're hosting it.
Is this ACC love we're getting today?
There is some ACC love.
Wow, a lot of ACC love. James, help me out. Arizona, North Carolina. Who gets it done?
The pitching at North Carolina dominates. North Carolina moves on.
Woo, 2 or 3?
Let's go 2.
2 games.
Yeah, I think that's going to be 2.
2 games, Steve. 2 games.
Yeah, I mean, I think I just what's that? Is Arizona still in the Pac-10? Is it still alive?
But no, they're in the
Big 12.
Big 12. Everything moves.
They're in Dion's league now.
I got you.
Right.
Coop, talk to me.
Got to go North Carolina. 2 games.
North Carolina.
Yep.
All right. The big one, the one I'm looking forward to. Everybody thinks it's going to go in 3. I'm telling you, watch out for Auburn. Auburn might win it all. Y'all think I'm crazy? Auburn might win it all. Of course, then again, they might get beaten 2 games. Coastal Carolina at Auburn, Friday, 7 o'clock, I think is the first pitch. Let's start with James. Help me out. SEC love or this Coastal Carolina Ryan Movey group?
Oh, this one's going to be a great one to watch because Coastal Carolina, I think, has the better pitching staff here because they have an incredibly low ERA. But if you look at it, Auburn leading the country with 83, 85 home runs. So if Auburn starts cracking the ball, it'll be Auburn. And Auburn has been cracking the ball, so I think they're hot. They're going to roll.
How many games?
3.
Coop, Auburn, how many games? Who wins?
Got to go Auburn. I think the other team's hot, but I think got to go Auburn there.
3 or 2?
I think 3.
Steve?
I think this one's a pick 'em. I mean, Coastal Carolina's won 21 games in a row. They're hot. They're coming in playing with house money. I don't think they have a thing to lose playing at Auburn. If I had to choose, I'd pick Auburn because they're the host, and I think that means a lot in college athletics. But man, if Auburn wins it, I think it's in 3. Do not count Coastal Carolina out. Hottest team in baseball is Coastal Carolina, but I got to go with Auburn.
Yeah, Coastal Carolina, 51 wins on the season. I think they have the best record of any team left. They're a really good team, but I think I pick Auburn. I'm giving it to Auburn.
All right. Of course, Coastal Carolina beat Southern Mississippi for that championship there, and they played in Montgomery, Alabama, so my hometown. Texas State?
Texas San Antonio.
Okay, same thing.
Close enough.
Same thing. Texas boys can play baseball, doesn't matter. UCLA, who wins that one? Start with you, Coach.
I'm not a big fan of West Coast baseball. I think we play baseball way better in the South, and so I got to give Texas San Antonio. They're my underdog. They're my Cinderella story of the year. So I'm giving it to UTSA.
UTSA, Steve. UCLA. Who you like?
I would go, how can you bet against a team that the mascot's the Roadrunners?
Right.
Come on. I'm going with the Roadrunners. University of Texas, San Antonio, I think, in the upset of this one. I hope they do. How cool would that be? Cinderella story. The Roadrunners make it to Omaha. Well, they got to get past UCLA first.
Just hope they don't play any Coyotes on the way.
Can you imagine? Explosives everywhere.
Jim,
I am going to go with UCLA on this one. I got to watch the Roadrunners play a couple of games against Western Kentucky this year. Good team, was not as impressed with them as the deep run they've made, so they've been hot, but I think UCLA is the better team here.
You're going with the Big Ten. All right. Cool.
My knowledge, obviously, like Coach Norman said, on the West Coast is not very good, so I think I got to give it to the team in Texas, Texas right there.
My question is, how many people are going to show up? You watch a UCLA football game, and nobody goes to games anymore. It's kind of sad. Them in the Big Ten's got to help them, you would think, but we shall see. Baseball's a totally different story. All right, who we got? Murray State, Duke. Man, Murray State's not bad.
The Racers.
Yeah.
If the Roadrunners were a cool mascot, how about the Racers? They're horse country up there. My dad went to Murray State for a few years, but they're the Murray State Racers, known for their basketball program, honestly, better than their baseball. But you're talking about a Cinderella story. They're playing at Duke. I got to pick Duke. Duke's hot. Again, they played in that ACC championship. I'd go with Duke.
How many games?
I'd say 2.
Okay.
I don't think it's that close, honestly.
They go into Oxford, which is a tough place to play. That's a beautiful place up there. And they beat Ole Miss, which surprised me. I had Ole Miss winning that. Who you like in this one?
You know, a lot of times when that happens, when you upset a team like that, there's a letdown after that. And I look for that to happen with Murray State. I think that, at their banquet this year, they're going to celebrate how far they made it and how great of a year that it was and beating Ole Miss like they did. But I'm giving this one to Duke.
All right, we got 2. How many games?
2 games. I think it's not even going to be close. I think Duke blows them out.
Coop, help me out. Who's going to get it? How many games?
Duke, 2 games.
2 games, Dukes. James?
It's going to be Duke. I think it's going to be 3 games. Murray State looking great. First time Murray State has made it to the Super Regionals, so I think they're going to ride high for the first game, maybe get that win, but after that, I kind of see a fall off.
All right, we'll come back and finish up. We got West Virginia. We got Tennessee, the big one, Tennessee, Arkansas.
That's going to be big.
That's huge. So let's talk about some of our great people. Turpo Pest Control, you want that yard look beautifully. Are you worried about bugs getting in your house? They can take care of that also. Patrick does a great job. They come up with a game plan. They execute it. Touchdown. They're number 1, no doubt about it. Turpo Pest Control. His beautiful daughter's a cheerleader at Mosley High School. He's going to do a fundraiser. He's got some tickets to the Alabama FSU football game week 1. We'll be talking about that more as we get closer. But you go and I think it's going to be like $25. You get an opportunity to win it. It's a raffle type deal. But all the money's going to go help from Mosley Cheerleading, which is outstanding. They're great over there, no doubt about that. Listen to Patrick every Monday, 8:30, right here on ESPN Northwest Florida. We love Kyle Vandergrift, Vandy Roofing and General Contracting. You want a new roof? It's Vandy Roofing. No one else. Go with Vandy Roofing. And locals taking care of locals. They design, they build commercial real estate. They're incredible. Vandy Roofing. As a matter of fact, Patrick is getting them to build this building for them. Kyle does a great job. Steve's Bike Shop right across the street from Sam's Shopping Center. Those electric bikes you see everywhere, they got all kinds. All these hunters now are going these electrical bikes. Theirs a little bit more expensive. They got 2 batteries. They're all-wheel drive, front and rear. You can go up any size mountain. You got a little thing on the back to pull them. I got a buddy of mine that was in the Green Berets. We were roommates in college. He's got one. That's all he uses when he goes out in the woods hunting is this bike. That's incredible. Steve's Bike Shop, number 1. We'll be right back. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida, the Paul Feinbaum Show.
Well, I'm sitting in a corner in Waycross, Georgia. It's such a fine sight to see.
That's great.
It's the Feinbaum Show, and Paul's on a roll right here on my TV. Come on, Paul. Come on, Paul.
Paul Feinbaum, weeknights, 6 to 10 on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good morning. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with your forecast on this Thursday. A variety of mostly sunshine and a possibility of thunderstorms this afternoon and evening with a gentle breeze out of the south-southwest around 10 miles per hour and look for the high to be 85. Tonight, there will be mostly clear skies with the temperature reaching 78. Mostly sunny and a chance of thunderstorms tomorrow with a high of 85. This weather is brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for keeping that dial at ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
It's the Mattress Model Closeout Sale going on right now. Save up to 50% on top name brands, including Tempur-Pedic. Stop in today while they last, right here at the Sleep Center.
The Sleep Center, where it's bedtime all day long.
PCB Hobby, the beach's premier hobby store for sports cards, comics, coins, and trading card games. PCB Hobby carries the largest selection of boxes and packs from the latest releases of brands like Topps, Panini, Leaf, and more. Looking for a specific player or team? PCB Hobby has a wide assortment of raw and graded cards. They carry parallel rookie, game used, and autographed cards in both modern and vintage. Have a collection you want to sell? We buy, sell, and trade. PCB Hobby on Back Beach Road, just east of Florida Linen. Call 850-320-8388.
It's the Mattress Model Closeout Sale going on right now. Save up to 50% on top name brands, including Tempur-Pedic. Stop in today while they last, right here at the Sleep Center.
The Sleep Center, where it's bedtime all day long.
Want to know the inside scoop on your favorite teams? From the gridiron to the hardwood to the diamond. For comprehensive sports coverage, it's ESPN Northwest Florida. Now back to the Coach James Hale Show inside the J. Michaels studio.
Welcome back. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Great day today, man. Enjoyed this. Got a special guest in here, Coop Moss, the future Hall of Famer, right here with us, going to be playing for the Florida Gators. And one of his teammates, Eli Blair, will be also roommating up there if they don't go play professional.
I'm going to go stay with them also. I'm moving to
we got a couch in the living room.
I'm moving to Gainesville. We're getting the group back together. We're just going to hang out.
I got to ask Steve this because he'll be fair and neutral. But we used to get phone calls. We'd have Coach Jones on here every Monday, and we talk about, man, what a program, what you've done there in 4 years is incredible. Then we'd get texts from somebody else, another coach. I'm not going to tell you his name, but he was like, well, I did this, and he took a lot of credit for what happened at Arnold. Now he's the head baseball coach at Bozeman. I'm not going to mention his name, but I do think that he had a lot to do with it.
I mean, as a first base coach over there, we have so much input as to what happens in a game that I have to take credit for everything.
Yeah. I would tell Coach Jones that he'd just laugh.
Yeah.
He's a guy like Coach Jones.
First base coaches are tough too. They have to. They usually have looks like a yard sale over there.
Oh, absolutely.
Everybody takes off their arm guard, their knee guard, and sliding mitts and this and that. So when you see your typical first base coach, it literally looks like he's got a yard sale over there at first base.
There were some of those games I wanted to bring a wagon over there, when we were hitting around and just guys constantly coming to first base. So I needed a wagon to hold all the gear.
I'm going to tell you what impressed me about Coach Jones. That last playoff game at Arnold's, Coop's last game, everybody's going nuts. Both sides, both fan bases, because the officiating is questionable. This being nice to say
questionable.
That. And I know they're good people. It's hard to call those games. I get it. But the way you players responded, first class, never disrespectful to anybody, and that comes to coaching. I was impressed with you guys. I mean, you saw it. You knew what was going on. I couldn't believe what I saw. 30-something years going to baseball games in high school level, I had never seen one like that. And
those umpires weren't, I think, ready for that type of pitching that they would see. And that level, I've never seen so many calls reversed where an umpire would say he's out. It'd get together and have a meeting, and they'd say,
the guy across the field make
safe.
a call.
Right. Or you had a first base umpire call the guy out at first. Right, the play was at first. The third base umpire goes over and overrules him and says, "Nah, I think he was safe." And I'm like,
that's when I blew it.
I'm losing my mind as a PA announcer. I'm like, I've never seen so many reversed calls.
Yeah, I think everybody lost it, especially that one. But there were other ones were just as bad. I just didn't realize how they could get a championship game, but I don't want to come down anymore. But anyway, I thought that was really classy of you guys as players kind of staying out of it, and I think Coach Jones handled it. He got heated, but he kept the players under control, and you guys did a good job.
Yeah, Jones has always done a good job of that, and he tells the players it's my job to get on the umpires. Let me handle it, and he's always done a good job of that. He definitely got heated, but I was proud of our players for not letting that affect the way that they played the game.
Because it can affect you.
Absolutely,
I just wish the PA announcer would have kept his cool a little bit better. I know he kind of got a little heated at the umpires and shared it with them.
That was emotional. And I would be fair and balanced. That was an emotional night for him and his family. So I'm going to give him a pass on that.
I'm glad you did.
Yeah, he's a good guy. You got to give him a little bit of slack every now and then.
I thought the PA guy was going to get thrown out. I'm like,
I did too.
This is going to be a first.
I was waiting for the umpires to toss you out of that game.
I was, and I looked, and for those of you who don't know, just a quick story. There was so many shenanigans going on, and again, in the extra innings, we had a guy hit a ball down the third base line, and the home plate umpire signals it as a fair ball, and it ended up being a triple. Crowd's going nuts. Hey, this is great, because we had to score. The game was going to be over. Yeah. Well, the umpire in the field, kind of nonchalantly pointed one way. So we're going nuts. All right, the guy hit it down the line. It's a triple. They go and meet, right? And then lo and behold, they go, it was a foul ball.
It took them 5 minutes.
Yes.
It did. Yeah.
And so never have I seen an umpire out in the field overrule the home plate umpire. So now they're calling our guy back to hit. And I'm the PA announcer, and I'm losing my mind. And so I said something I shouldn't have. I said, folks, you're not going to believe this. The home plate umpire calls it fair. The umpire out in the field calls it foul. They've overruled it. It's a foul ball. I said, I don't know where they got these clowns.
Yes.
And as soon as I said that, the microphone was on. The crowd, hey, they go nuts. They're ready to tear the place down. I looked at the guy next to me. I said, I think they're going to throw me out. And the umpire, he looked at me and scowled, and I kind of, gave him a kind of, a smile that might have been a little uneasy. I was able to finish the game, but probably not my best moment. But it was just one of those type games where it was very emotional. As a PA announcer, I try to stay, even keeled. I might have.
You just said what everybody was thinking.
That's exactly what I did.
The best part of that story, though, is the guy that got called back to the plate. Very next pitch, he hits a home run, the first home run of his high school career.
The next pitch, they make him come back, and the crowd's going nuts. I can't believe it. Brian's right. The next pitch, he hits a home run. So I see him after the game. His name is Josh Lindsay, going to play at Gulf Coast. I said, Josh, you picked a great time to hit your first home run of the season. He said, Mr. Moss, you don't understand. That's my first home run ever. I haven't hit one in batting practice. I haven't hit one all season. He said, I guess it must have been my adrenaline. I was so ticked off that they made me come back and hit after I thought I hit a triple. He said, I hit my first home run ever. That tied the game and ended up being. So then I said, thank goodness for those umpires calling that foul ball. It worked out great, but who would have known at the time?
What do we always say? It doesn't happen to you, it happens for you. Unbelievable.
It's a crazy, crazy game.
All right, let's get these last two games in. How much time we got, James?
Let's see. We got about 4 minutes.
All right, I think we got time. West Virginia at LSU. I love the Tigers. 2 games of 3. I know you got the Tigers. What's going to happen?
Well, I am convinced that LSU fans always root for 3 games because they want to be able to go to the stadium more and drink more beer and party more. I think LSU takes it absolutely. I think, but I wouldn't doubt if it's some fireworks and we go 3 games in that series.
Who you got?
LSU. They're hot.
How many games? How many games?
Give me 2.
2 games. I like that, Coop. Who you got?
Got to go with LSU. Alex Box Stadium is a tough place to play, period, but especially in the playoffs. They'll pack it out.
All right, James, come on.
LSU in 2. I think West Virginia had a nice little run, but I think it's coming to an end.
LSU in 2. I like that. The big one. We got Arkansas might get it all this year. Tennessee's done it before. This is huge. Tennessee at Arkansas. Coach, who you like?
This is one that I can't wait to watch. I think this is going to be a really, really good series. I think it's going to go 3 games, and I'm going to give it to Arkansas, the favorite.
How many games?
3. I think it's going 3 games, Arkansas.
Give me 3, but Tennessee. I think, they're electric, whether you like it or not. I think they're playing hot. They play with each other, and I think their pitching staff will come out on top.
Wow, that's from a Gator. That's from a Gator.
An interesting fact: Tennessee's coach Tony Vitello, his son pitches for LSU. It's kind of cool. Yeah. So his son in Game 3 in that last game against who'd we play?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he had an outstanding game. Tony Vitello's son pitches for LSU.
James, what happens?
It is going to be the University of Tennessee in 3, and if I didn't pick it that way, my mama probably wouldn't let me back into the house.
Tennessee in 3, unbelievable. All right, Steve, you got to break it.
Cooper, as a Florida signee, can't believe you picked Tennessee.
I can't either.
That orange just it turns my stomach. But I'm going to pick. I got to go with Arkansas. They're at home, Tennessee, it is what it is. I know they're hot. They're very emotional. They play off the emotion of their coach. I get that. Sometimes it's a little too much for me, personally. So if Tennessee played Arnold, I'd pick Arnold. So maybe it's just a personal thing. I don't know. It probably is. But I would pick Arkansas. But I would probably pick whoever played Tennessee, regardless of who it was.
When you think of Tony Vitello, does that word clown come back to mind sometimes?
It's funny you said that. He's very emotional. And if you're a Tennessee fan, I think you love that emotion.
Yeah.
If you're not a Tennessee fan, you look at the coach and go, what's he doing?
Yes,
good God Almighty.
absolutely.
So I would pick Arkansas.
1 minute. Well, I'll tell you what, real quick, got 1 minute. Just give me a name right now. Who wins it all? National champs.
Whew. If I had to pick somebody, I think I would, golly, that's tough, Coach. I can't, oh man, you put me on, I'd probably go with LSU. I mean, that's an easy one.
Give me Tennessee.
Dang, how dare you?
How did you?
I'm not telling Coach O'Sullivan, Florida.
You get my Tigers to Omaha, and it's a whole different ball game down there. I'm giving it to LSU.
James, who wins it all?
I'm going to go with Coastal Carolina with a hot hand.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
Dark horse.
There it is.
Sure.
There
All
it
right.
is.
All right. I'll go with Auburn Tigers. I'll go Auburn. Everybody's going to shock the world, Auburn.
I like it.
I will see. How much time we got? We got to go?
We got 20 seconds.
20 seconds. Steve, thank you for coming in. Coop, love you, brother, man. So proud of you. What you've done is incredible. Coach, you did a great job with that kid.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in.
It's all me.
It's all Brian Norman.
Coach Norman.
I think it's Miss Moss. I think she's the key. All right, we're out. 104.3. Hey, great job, James. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
The ride home just got more dangerous. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida is your spot for the afternoon underdogs.
One of the more underrated